Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 770. Hopefully, you guys have had a great day. I've had a pretty awesome day myself. Very much looking forward to talking with this gentleman right here. Uncle Mike, you want to tell us how you're doing and where they can find you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been kind of under the weather since I got back from Vegas, but I didn't want to miss this show and talk to everybody and give Eagle some my story, and everybody else on the internet here enjoying this show as well. So yeah, you can get a hold of me at Uncle Mike 420 on Instagram, and I'm kind of like an old stoner, so like I keep losing my passwords to all my accounts and stuff. So that's probably the one that you can get me at right now. Otherwise, you see me on the streets.
It makes me feel a little bit better, to be honest with you, because I get frustrated with how many times I've got to change my password,
Well,
and
they
not
make
only that, I think I'm real keen. I'll be like, oh, I'll use this one, and they're like, no, you can't use that one again. I'm like, oh shit.
yeah. That's they used to have it the same thing. Now they put in a special character and this, and I drop my phones, I lose my phones all the time, and then I just, then they ask you to, 6 months later. I have a hard time remembering sometimes what I did last week, let alone, like 6 months ago, and you get creative. I'm from old school, so you don't want to give them all your information and everything, You're always taught to keep that stuff off the internet, your real address, your real birthday and stuff. So you make some shit up that sounds really cool at about 11 o'clock at night. But, and then 6 months later, you can't remember that shit for the life of you, so.
Right on. What you smoking on this evening? If you're capable of smoking anything.
Yeah, well, I've been kind of like holding loose on the dabs for a couple days, but I've been taking them sporadically, so that way it could help explore it. Whatever I got, the chest cold that's going in, I've been taking this Colonic Silver. But what I have been dipping on is I think you guys had them on your show, COA right now, extracts right here. Okay, and this is some grape jelly. And then he had another flavor there, super lemon haze, that I've been trying to hit because that's always been a good expellerant for me. And I've been a little bit of the flower. It's been one of my buddy Ray's outdoor grow up north. He kind of had it did a really good job on it, man. He did an excellent job on it. Some good terps and good clean smoke, sun grown. I've been digging that, and then dipping in a little bit of the kit here and there from that organic cup, the little ones I still have left over, because I was poking them in little hitters. You remember, I think you were there hanging out. If I remember correctly, that was kind of a foggy day,
I can only imagine. And yes, thank you very much. I was there, and thank you for sharing, because I was.
Man, it was my pleasure, man. I didn't want to sit over there and where the judges were hanging out. There was a whole bunch of people like they're not looking like they were having a good time, and I kind of like to have. I tried to cheer it up a little bit, but sometimes the mean muggers can be hard. So you got to go out. And I wanted to be with the people, anyways. That's where I'm always, like to be at. I go to all these big events and stuff. I wind up out by the smoking section, smoking everybody up. That's where I'm most at home, with the people from the streets. That's how come I am how I am right now.
I thought that shit was super admirable. I do think that shit's super admirable, to be honest with you. I know it made my day, and it made a lot of other people's day hanging out with you, and just, it's, I don't know, it's an awesome outlook to have, to be honest with you, and to kind of share your good vibe and make people a part of the event. And yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, even with the high times events, what I try to do is I try to find somebody there that was looking like they weren't having a good time. And, you walk up to them and they're like, oh, yeah, I lost my buddies. You took all the weed. I'm stuck here. That's what I'm like. Well, man, you just lucked out, man, and lay out and just totally change the person's day, and spread that love, because that's what it's all about. What a fitting shirt to be wearing today. My friend Angel Smiles, sweetie, gave me this Stoner's Life Matter from Flint. So, that's, I wanted to kind of make that a precedence of what I kind of, talk about a lot today, to keep it about, like, about how it is the people's, and how this is truly, anybody that's not out there trying to do, and communicate with the people and reach out and have this connection, we can't expect them to really be fighting for us 100% all the time, because it's like they look below, like they're above some of these people that are running the show now, like kind of like being big spot in the spotlight. They seem to be thinking they're above, everybody, and it's not. We're all equal in this war. And some of us might be more outspoken or might be more charismatic, but that doesn't stop you from trying to be, friendly and love your fellow stoner and try to get this shit really legal. That's what it's all about. We are brothers and sisters in this movement to get this plant legal. That's what it, and when I mean legal, that means, I mean, like, totally free for everyone. I'm not for a tax to patient system. Okay. You know, and that's just not what I'm about. So I'm more for the people, and I want people to be out there, sharing and loving each other, like, like, instead of holding them down. I see too much in this movement. Believe me, I've been around, man, and I see a lot of shit that I'm like a little bit disappointed in, that I haven't been able to voice for years, because, man, like, I haven't been in the spotlight because I didn't want to get taken away from my kids and stuff. I got two boys, and now they're 19, and the youngest one had just turned 19. So my job is a lot done. I was already martyred once for this, plant, and I didn't want to cheat them out of, they already got cheated out of some time with their dad, and I think that played a big major effect in their lives, our relationship, the dynamics of the family. I mean, people don't realize that it hurts so much, unless they're living through it. you know
Very true. And it's sad that the penalty for a plant, you know what I mean, had to be so severe in the past.
Yeah, it's sickening. It's sickening, to be honest with you. Because I a little bit about me. I grew up Eagle, man. The youngest of five kids. By 8 years. So I was born in 1970. So I was a 70s baby. Man. So by the, this is a true story. This is one that maybe not a lot of people know about Uncle Mike. In kindergarten, the teacher gave me a piece of paper and told me to make something. I rolled a joint. Okay, they called in all my brothers and sisters in the principal's office, had them there. Okay, and then they were like, "Okay, what's going on here?" And they go, "Oh, you must have watched us rolling a cigarette." Because back then cigarettes, you could go there with a note, get a 6-pack of beer, cigarettes, a bottle of vodka, whatever, with a note. Back in those days. So anyway, so man, so he goes. So the principal goes, "Oh yeah, he was rolling cigarettes. He had green paper ripped up and brown paper ripped up." He goes, "Okay, Mikey, roll us another cigarette." So I turned around and I picked the green paper, and you can see my brothers and sisters' hearts as I dropped, "You little mother." But it was really funny because even though I rolled it at that age, I know that I remember a certain instance. Like, and so I know that they weren't giving it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were responsible enough to, like, I was just like their little mascot. I had 3 older sisters, 1 older brother, all their friends, and they right down a half a block away from Independence Park by Irving and Pulaski in Chicago, and I remember an instance, where I was, since I'm the little mascot, like, I'd go up to the park, and sometimes my sisters wouldn't be there, or something, but all their friends would be there, so, like, I'd be hanging around and they'd scoop me up, Mikey, all their girlfriends and stuff, and this one guy, I remember this distinctly, this one situation where this one guy came up to me. I mean, I was like 6 years old, to be honest. 1976 this happened. I remember it because we were talking to my brother. That was the year he got this dirt bike. Okay. So he nobody was at the park but a couple of their friends, and then this one guy, and he goes, "Today you're gonna be a man, Mikey. You're gonna smoke some weed. You're gonna smoke some of this with me." And all the girls were like, leave him alone, leave him alone. You know, don't give him that shit. And he kind of talked to me like, come on, man, you want to try it, man? You're gonna be a man. So I took a couple hits off it, you know, and I said I thought I heard a train, and everybody started giggling. I remember that, you know, and my brother pulled up on his dirt bike, you know, and he hopped off the dirt bike and he took one look at me, man. And he goes, who gave it to him? Okay. And everybody pointed right at this guy, man. This guy got his ass whipped. I remember that day really bad. He turned around and he goes, Mikey, you don't take nothing from nobody else. If we want you to have something, we'll tell you it's okay. And that was a pretty important lesson to learn back then. You know what I mean? You know, so like this plant's been a part of my life, but I was also, even at that level, they still kind of cut me from it. So it wasn't like I was 6 years old smoking joints, you know, every day, you know, and stuff like that. But it was a part of my life, watching my brother through the Led Zeppelin shows and stuff. I'm getting prepared and all these, you know, Black Sabbath and all this music that was 70s, and they'd be going to these concerts and they'd be prepping it up, you know, and getting ready. So I mean, it was a part of my life, you know, but it wasn't where I dipped into it until I was like about 12 years old, you know, when I started really fucking around with it a lot. You know what I mean? Like stealing it from my older brother because I was a foster kid, product of alcoholism, you know. So my mother, you know, when I was 9 years old, I got taken away from her because my I was being a little fucker and lighting playing with matches and shit, and she came out and she didn't mean to break my arm, but she did. They gave it those little bat that you get from like the baseball games, the little mini bat. So I got taken away and put in with group homes and foster homes and stuff like that from that day on. You know, I was in Maryville Academy, Augustana Hospital. I would even have me on the news when I was a little kid, you know, because of it. You know, I remember them doing this interview and telling me not to look in the camera. And of course, my ass looked right in the camera, you know. So, yeah. But yeah, I remember it like that. And then when I got in with foster parents, I was already like living on the streets so much, you know, that I was like a little hoodlum. You know, nobody could tell me what to do. My mom worked night shifts, so like nobody was around. In the 70s, you pretty much did whatever the hell you want to do. Go out as long as you come back at night, you know. So, you know, nobody really told me. And then to get into an environment where I had foster parents who, like, one was a school teacher and the other one was like, you know, a top executive for AT&T, you know, and they demand that you know, that you listen, you know, a little bit, you know, you have respect and stuff like that. So I kind of rebelled a lot from that. And, but I knew I never wanted to drink. I watched it destroy my family. You know, I feel it destroyed my family. It brought a lot of trauma to our lives, the alcohol. You know, I've seen a lot of stuff happen with my brothers and sisters. So, you know, I knew I never wanted to drink, but this plant, I knew that, you know, like it was like I remember reading in the Bible, you know, like I give unto you every seed bearing fruit. So I'm like, this is given to me by the heavens. So I mean, my brothers and I read, and when I did try it, I kind of calmed me down. I used it for like, you know, like I would take it back at that time. There was Acapulco Gold and let me see, they had these uh, Panama Red and not Jack, Panama Red, and then they had this Colombian. Colombian was really big back then too. Back when I first started, you know. So these were like more like relaxing. They would keep me down, you know what I mean? Where I was pretty much a hyper kid, you know. I was always fucking running around. From my mind was always going and you know trying to get you know hustle. You know, you're living on the streets in Chicago. You know, you learn to hustle real quick. You know, try to get what's yours. You know, and even if it wasn't nailed down, you know. So I'm not proud of them days, but it did help me survive, you know, and it taught me the streets. So like I feel like I could go any place and be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been all around the world, and because of the street smarts and growing up in Chicago, you kind of hear goes up in the back, and you kind of like know when something's bogus about to happen. You know, at least streetwise. You know, so I think you know the heavens that I did grow up the way that I did because that really did help me along in life where I found myself in many a times, you know, in trouble and in places over this plant. You know, so so that's a little rundown about when I started about 12, you know, and then when I started getting in trouble for it, you know, I changed my life, you know what I mean? Like I got in trouble when I was for shit that was for thievery and doing stupid shit. I never really tried to rob a person. I would rob like the service merchandise in corporate stores, like boost a whole bunch of shit. But I find when I went in there, think my foster parents would take me places and stuff, and I'd book from them and meet a girl and I'd run away, and they'd be coming home from Canada by themselves and I'd be hitchhiking back. I was a little fucker, to be honest with you. When I was growing up. But anyway, so like when I got about 18, I got in some trouble. And then when I got out, I changed my life. I turned around and I I went, my sister sold me her car for like $100 that I got with the government check because she said, Mike, you can't, you'd be a bad influence around our kids. Yeah, about my daughter, about my niece, actually, Jennifer, and her other friends and stuff. Because not that I would steal from her or anything like that, but because she'd never know what would wind up in her front room. Like we'd go robbing the trains, and she'd have like 10,000, like battery chargers from a train, whatever, boxes, cases of shit, and she goes, Mike, I love you. I want to help you, but I don't, but right now you got a bad track record, so she helped me get the car. It was a 1976 Buick Electra. And I turned around and I stayed in that car for like about 6 months. She helped me find a job. So Monday, I got out on a Friday. Monday, I changed the title of the car with $100 to my name, so it was out of her name. And then and I stayed inside that car. And I would by Friday, Friday I got out. Monday I had a job, and I was in trade school for heating and cooling. I had made it up to my mind to change my life. You know what I mean? Like I realized that wasn't the place for me inside jail. I've been around the world. At that point, even younger, I was blessed to go on these vacations with my foster parents and stuff. So I saw that there was other places, and I saw what they were trying to teach me. And prison wasn't it for me. I made up my mind that I was going to be an upstanding citizen, change my life. So I turned around and I started school and I finished it. There wasn't a day that I hated working inside that kitchen in my +4 where I worked, because it's like I just took some Latino guy's job, and that was probably their cousins or they had somebody groomed for that position. And here I come in, I'm the gringo so I got the worst jobs of the worst, and so when I'm standing there, I'm looking at, I want to quit this job. I look at one of those coolers and be like, yeah, man, one day I'm going to be able to work on them and make $140 an hour just for walking through the door. So man, I'm going to stick with this, man. I got to do it. I owe it to myself. And then when I got done with that school, I graduated, I invited everybody back because I did this basically on my own. This was a big thing I wanted to prove that I didn't need nobody's help. I could do this, and I did it. I finished the school. It was hard. The same corners I was over there being a hoodlum on, I was now 2 o'clock in the morning doing my homework there. And the fellow guys were like, "Oh, look at Mr. Wizard doing his homework," but they respected me enough, you know what I mean? They knew I was down, like so I was like a real, part of that neighborhood, so they respected me enough to be like and understand that, they were giving me shit, but I'm like, hey man, I'm not going to be in that place. I'm not going to be, you guys. I want to be, I want to have a career. I want to have nice stuff, and I don't want to take it, you know. So that was when I really changed my life, and I started becoming like, like uh, just to repent, I guess, from that type of lifestyle, But I used weed a lot at that time. And I remember that was a crucial point in my life when after I finished with that school about 4 or 5 years later, I wanted to get into DeVry. DeVry was really big, right? When DeVry first came out, they were doing these electronics and robots shit. And so I went to go into DeVry and I passed their test. Well, first of all, tried to get into the military, but they denied me because I was already fucked up after I got out of trade school. I was already still had felonies and shit from when I was a kid, so they wouldn't accept me in the military. So then I did the heating and cooling. I excelled at it. I did that, and then I wanted to upgrade in my career, to take at the DeVry. And my brother at this point, we were living in a house, right, and my parents would lived on the house next door, and the next door my brother lived with and I had my friends, and my little foster brother had his friends, right? Well, they were into drinking. So, and I let some people stay at my crib, okay, and in the basement, rent out the basement. And it was, and I kicked them out because they were drunks and they were acting fools, right? So on Easter morning, they went and they had like across the street, they left this garbage out, like cleaned out her car, this girl, Nikki, right? So we had this deal with Nikki and Jim that if I ever had a problem with your girl or anything, I'm going to come talk to you. You're the man, right? You know, so you're the one that's renting it from me. That's what's going on. You argue with your girlfriend. I'm not going to argue with your girlfriend, right? So my brother had let them in after I kicked them out, and they're up there drinking. And they had all these broken bottles outside my neighbor's house. So I start cleaning up. And I go up the stairs to go up there, and I see Jim standing there shaving. And I go, "Hey man, you know, when you get done shaving, why don't you go clean up your shit?" You know. And then his girlfriend Nikki came out there, and I guess I hurt her feelings because she said, "I was me. What are you gonna do about it?" You know what I mean? Because he was pissed off that I just kicked him out of there. And I had the picture there, and I threw it on the couch right next door. And I'm like, "Listen," I go, "Man, how would you feel if somebody went by your parents' house and did that shit outside your family's house?" "Oh, I forget you're here on Thanksgiving. That's why." So I guess I hurt her feeling a little bit. She went and called the cops, right? Said that I threatened her. Well, they busted me with some weed. They came to in my pocket, okay, that I forgot I had inside her. And that was enough to get me denied an education at DeVry. Like I passed with flying colors and everything because I had that weed felony. I'm not weed felony, weed charge. They denied my government grants and loans at that point. Okay. So that's when it became like a big, like how it became, I could say, personal for me, you know. And I remember like looking at my friends getting busted all the time, and so like I'm like, dude, we have to do something about this. You know, I don't know what it is. My brain wasn't that. I'm still trying to be, you know, do what's right. You know, work every day, so that consumes you. You know, when you're doing a heating and cooling job, you know, I don't know, for a service, you know, you're on 24-hour call. So like there's some days where I'd be working 18-hour days for, you know, 3-4 days out of the week, you know, and then you get a couple days off in between, you know, like where you don't have to work the 13 hours, 14 hours, you know. You know, you work 8 hours, but you still, the rest they rely upon you to be on call. So it was like a really busy time of my life, you know, like trying to master this trade and stuff. So I kind of was distracted a little bit, you know what I mean, about the legalization, but I always used it. I was denied jobs because of it. And every time that would happen, I'd feel pissed off. You know, I was like, man, dude, I tell you know, why the fuck can't, you know, can this guy go fucking drink, you know, all weekend and be fine? This guy goes and snorts cocaine all week and he's fine because he could piss the test the next day clean. But this stays in my system, man. I can only smoke once a month. Come on, man. You know, what the fuck, man? You know, that's just kind of bullshit, you know, and or I gotta, you know, if I can, you know, try to beat it, you know, somehow. So, you know, and that was a part of my life that was really a conflict because I knew this thing was so good. You know what I mean? This plant was so good for me. And I was trying to keep morally right. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be like the guy ashamed of who I am. I was proud of who I was. You know, I just turned around, I just beat, you know, an addiction to thievery, you know, because that could be like if you grew up on the street, being a hoodlum could be an addiction. You know what I mean? Like that's your lifestyle, you know. So like that's all I knew at that point was trying to hustle and you know win, you know, until I got a trade, you know, and then that I mastered that, and that taught me, you know, like listen, that's your deal, you know. You don't even have to take nothing from nobody. They'll give it to you willingly. You know, you're providing a service, you're helping them, you know what I mean? And I was treated with respect and stuff. So I didn't want to feel ashamed of who I was because I smoked this plant, you know, and I didn't think it was right that I had to fucking go through all these hoops and corners and worry about my kids. And, you know, when I finally did have kids, that was a big part, you know, they make you jump through all these fucking hoops. They could take your kids away, all this shit over a plant. And this is a sickening, you know, so like that's when around 1998 was when I like said I had enough. You know what I mean? With watching my friends get arrested, me getting denied jobs, having to deal with that. So that's when I went around and I started doing the local 420, and I started doing the spoken word poetry. So I would wanted to express myself in a way that, you know, like maybe go and connect with a whole bunch of people as I'm doing it and get the message across that, listen, we shouldn't be accepting this, government running the show, type of thing. We need to demand and change our sisters, our neighbors' minds, that we aren't all scumbags. We aren't all just lazy bums that just want to sit in our basement and smoke weed. There's, like, there's a big part of us, who are great, beautiful people, and some of the kindest people and some of the most creative, and our place isn't behind bars. I truly believe that. And it isn't being held underneath the thumb, of some government for this and that, you know, jumping through hoops, over a plant, you know. So that's when I started the local 420 and started doing my spoken word poetry. I would go around and I do rhymes at open mics throughout the city. I hosted the Windy City Weed Fest for 3 years, and that's when I really started to blossom into Uncle Mike, with the rhymes and everything. And then I did with the individuals, the I Click. I met him at the Mark Emery. I don't know if you remember when Mark Emery was getting hemmed up from all that seed stuff around 2000 in Canada. Well, we went to like up there to protest in Chicago by the Daily Center, and I meet up with these cats called the Individuals. Man, there was Pharaoh, and then TCO, Big Lou, Endo. Okay, and these guys are all from the south side of Chicago, and they're over there. I spit a couple rhymes to them, and then they're like, "Man, dude, you got to come into the studio and shit, man." I'm like, "Man, dude, you're fucking fire," and I went to their second CD. I hope play a big part in that. With getting some of the people for the songs and coming up with ideas. Like we'd have a talk about it, and then they'd write a rap about it. What we talked about, and kind of expressed out, put, because I'm old and I'm like at this point I do rhymes, but I sometimes I can't catch a beat. You know what I mean? So I just keep it to poetry. You know what I mean? Like I have my own beat. And so like they made it when they made a second Something to Smoke To part 2, and that was the album that I was really big part of, and it was really awesome to be a part of that. And what was really sad was here you got these urban youth who could be out there robbing places, doing bullshit, but they're writing songs, sitting there writing songs about, Lord, is there a heaven for a chiefer? Like praying and talking to the Lord about this plant and going around trying to do positive. And what I was really disappointed of that then is, man, is that they didn't get no play on the radio at that time, because you couldn't at that time. So it was up to the weed community to hold these people up. And I think that a lot. I don't know. I think we might have been before our time, maybe, in this stuff, because now I see that gender of music being represented more. But back then it was all rock and stuff, and I feel like we kind of got like a bum road with that. You know what I mean? Knocking highlight because they were on Weeds. That was the year I got arrested in 2007, where they went on Weeds and they did the little boxes, and I was supposed to be doing that too. Okay, but I wound up. God wanted me to spend time in Wisconsin prison, I guess, for a plant, for my rhymes. Most likely, that's mainly why it was one of my rhymes. It got played in the courtroom. It was a crazy situation. A guy gets caught. I hooked up grow lights and some an AC. I did my trade. Helped the old cancer patient, the guy who was getting, and then another guy who was under dialysis. Two old guys, and the grower went out there and got busted. With going to clean the place because he left a big mess. They were paid to clean the place, and they left it a big mess. They went back there to clean it with my little nephew. And next thing you know, I'm tied into a conspiracy to manufacture THC. They found 6 root balls outside the place, and they held a half-pound bag separately over this kid Raffy. Okay, and dude, this guy would have told on his mother. They were going to charge him with a second plus offense. They wound up playing one of my rhymes in the courtroom. They didn't find 1 gram of weed on me. They played one of my rhymes right before sentencing and sentenced me to 6 years. Welcome to the U.S. one. Yeah, 3 in, 3 out. Yeah, for this plant. You know, and that was the time when I was going strong. Like I was going into Wisconsin and really like I didn't have a problem with Wisconsin. You know, now I fucking hate Wisconsin. Don't even take me anywhere near that. I won't even fly over that fucking state, dude. You know, man, fight the plane might crash there, man. You know, I know a lot of people from there, but you know, good people, but I won't cross that border again. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a Chomo safe haven because I was watching child molesters and rapists get out while they held me in there for fucking not even a gram of fucking weed, dude. I didn't even get caught with 1 gram. And this is when I was telling people, here's what I'm telling you about when I changed my life. I want to bring this up because this is important. Okay. So I changed my life. I got a trade. I wound up having 2 boys, getting married, having 2 boys. And we're driving one day to go pick up one of my pyrotechnics checks because I was doing heating and cooling. I was kind of honest guy. I wasn't robbing people. I made it a point to try to change who I am, you know what I mean? And really live it and walk it. So I was a good service tech and I wasn't trying to sell people shit they didn't need. So I'm over there at this one customer's house and he has all these pictures of all these stars up there with him and everything. And it was a beautiful place down by lakefront and like $1.5 million condo, you know. And I'm over there doing service on there and somebody had told him that he needed a new unit. Well, he didn't need a new unit. He needed a new contactor. Sold him a new contactor, got it running. And as I'm filling out the ticket, I'm looking around. I'm like, man, what career do you do? He does pyrotechnics and this and that. I go, well, man, I was just joking. I go, if you ever need any help, I'm willing to moonlight. You know what I mean? So he goes, you know what, man? As a matter of fact, man, I would like to offer you a job. I like how you're honest and everything, and you know wiring and stuff. So we could use it. So I started doing the fire games and stuff like that, like where every time somebody would score a goal, the fireworks would go off. We'd have a repeat or something, you know. So I started doing that, and I started going with them and doing a little bit more stuff, and it was a really cool time. But anyway, so I was going to pick up one of my checks. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, about 3:30 maybe, and we're driving down Diversity by Central, and I watch. We're right at the Shell gas station. I'm right before an alley, you know, and I'm sitting there. I'm looking. We're at a red light, and I'm looking. I had this pickup truck at the time, and it was a manual, so I had a hard time getting into first gear. But I'm right before the alley, and I see this guy come running up behind this old lady and take a knife and cut her arm while he's cutting off her purse and rips off her purse, okay, and runs around the corner because it was like a fence. Like here's the gas station, here's the fence, like right, and an alley. And I was sitting right by, and he comes skipping around the fence and goes and starts booking down the alley. Well, I had my pregnant wife at the time, okay, inside the car with me, you know, with our firstborn. And so we ripped, you know, I'm like, you know what? I got to do this, you know? So I floored it and I started chasing the guy down the alley, you know, because this lady was laying on the ground, blood, you know, I just couldn't, that could be my sister. That could be your mom. That could be somebody else's mom that, you know, I didn't stand for that. You know, if you're a real thug, see, I'm from Chicago. So if you're a real thug, you're going to take it from the motherfucker and you're going to give the guy, you're going to take it from somebody that could fight if you're going to do that shit. You don't go robbing a defenseless old lady, little kids. You don't do that. If you're a gangster, you're a gangster. You do it the right way. You go up like a man, you know, you take from a man, you know. If you're going to do that, none of this sneak shit, none of this sneak behind the bob. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it right, you know. Like, so I thought that was, you know, I couldn't stand for that. So I went and floored it down the alley, and then he slid and dropped the keys, came off their purse. And then I watched him skid into the bushes, and then he continued running. I had to slow down to make the turn down the alley. And I as soon as I make the turn, I see him hop inside this van. So I pull up behind the van, I start chasing him, right? And it's one color brown. I remember that, you know what I mean? And I remember the license plate. I know every dent. I'm following him. Then the guy's blowing through streets and shit. He's almost hitting little kids. At one point, I got up beside the vehicle and tried to jump out and grab the keys out and put the car at his van and park, you know. And then they pulled away. They almost hit a family and shit. But I got a description of all the 2 people, the driver and the guy that fucking did that. And I was kind of pissed, man, you know, because this is my neighborhood. This is right in my neighborhood. Diversity. Grew up like Diversity in Central, like right around there. That was where we were staying, you know. So that could be my, my wife at the time, the Mrs. Moore, the old lady that lived upstairs, I mean, any woman, it doesn't matter. She was defenseless and I couldn't stand for that. So I went and I remember this thing. I went back to the scene, got the lady back her keys. She was so happy, a little Hispanic woman, it was like, couldn't even speak English, but she was so like thankful. I remember her trying to give, like when she go to court, she tried to bring me food and shit and they wouldn't let it in, and stuff. Like she'd meet me outside and be like, thank you so much. Learning this with her family and stuff. But anyway, so I went to court because the next day I turned around, I'm driving not in my truck, but in the service truck for the company I worked at, right? So they didn't recognize this truck. So I'm driving behind this vehicle down DeVry Avenue right there. And I look, and dude, it's this fucking truck, but it's painted two colors brown now. Like they went and painted half of it a different color. And they all had this. And so like, anyway, so I follow it and it goes like to Luna, the first street off of like Central and DeVry right there. There's a Luna, it's east. And they had like this little slanted parking, like right next to the store. And then they had the bars across the street. So this guy pulled in there and I pulled right behind him. Okay, and I went and I fucking dragged him. I run around to the driver's side. After I parked my vehicle, I ran around, dragged this guy out, started pounding him. You know what I mean? Like, come on, take my shit, motherfucker. Not no defenseless old lady. And this and then all of a sudden, like 6 guys come piling out of this fucking truck. Man, I'm getting like fucking mobbed at this point. But I'm still fighting. I'm like, hey, these motherfuckers just stole some lady's purse yesterday. Help, call it up. So, dude, they got swarmed by the neighborhood, right? The whole neighborhood swarmed them. So then the detective that was there the day before shows up there and looks at me, looks at these guys sitting in the curb, and I'm like, yep, there they are. That's those two right there, dude. He looks at me and he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, man, dude, this is my neighborhood, man. I told you, man, dude, if I see him again, I'm gonna catch him, And so I went to court while my boss was turning around and telling me, hey, man, we really need you. And I'm like, dude, I like after like about a year going to court, of him doing this every month, I'm like, dude, I'm really disappointed in you. This is what I told my boss. I'm really disappointed in you, man, because if this was your mother or your aunt, you would want me there to testify and make sure that these guys get off the street. If they're cutting a little lady's purses off their arms, dude, that's not right, dude. Okay, that's not right. Come on, man. And he goes, you're right, you're right. And I go, because if you want to bring me another problem, I'll quit Friday. So it went about another year of court of going that. And then the state's attorney, these guys wound up getting in trouble and they wound up getting this drug program and hopefully it helped them. It got them off the street, maybe got them off of crack because that's what they were on, obviously. That's what they, and so that maybe it helped them, it did me good, when I was in there, it fucking taught me a fucking lesson, you know what I mean? When I was doing bullshit stuff. So if you don't want to be in there, you're going to change your life, you're going to change the way you act. So anyway, so I went in there, I went there, and the state's attorney goes to hand me a card. Okay, and he goes, hey, Mike, we really do appreciate you and what you did. If you ever need anything, here's my card. And I push the card back in his hand, and I go, hey, man, I go, next time you catch a guy with some weed, give his ass a break. Because if I would have got caught with my quarter pound of weed for this month, I wouldn't have been able to be there to fucking help this lady out. You know what I mean? So do that. And they were like right in front of the detective and everything. That detective wound up hiring me to do his fucking house heating and cooling. They were building a big house. That's the type of impression I made on these people. You know what I mean? So like now fast forward 7 years when this shit happened to me in Wisconsin, these guys found out about it and drove down there. He was now a lieutenant in the homicide division. I made such an impression on this guy that he felt the need to drive down and testify on my behalf. Okay, with his gun on his side, with his badge sitting up there, and a marked car from Chicago, okay, a homicide lieutenant to testify on my behalf. Okay, and then they had judge and a DA writing letters, right? Because I was like a model citizen since I got out. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even get caught jaywalking when I got out of since I went to trade school and finished and changed my life, So I realized at that point that that's what we're going to need to do. Okay. That's how we're going to win this war. Okay. Is by changing the negative stereotypes of stoners through positive actions. So that's when I started pushing the local 420, doing good deeds in the name of weed. We got to fucking and acting right on this plan, not making us look bad, not being fucking. That's how we're gonna beat it. Because if I could inspire a lieutenant in a homicide division to drive from Chicago to Walworth County, Wisconsin. Now this is all in transcripts. Okay. So I mean, none of this shit is bullshit. This is true. They drove there and testified on my behalf. Now, man, I ain't no rat. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not a rat. But if I catch you fucking molesting a little kid or doing some shit like that, hey man, I have a lie and I'm gonna fucking do what's right. So fuck you. If you're fucking over there doing that stupid shit, hurting the little ladies, and you belong behind bars. That's what jails are made for. For stupid motherfuckers that will go hurt somebody else, a weaker person, to get off. Okay. That you know what? That's how I feel. So if you want to hate me for that, call me that. Well, I don't give a fuck because I'm real and I'm telling you what's real. If I'm doing dirt with somebody, again, and I get caught, I ain't gonna go drag somebody else into a shit. That's a rat. That's a snitch. Okay. But if you're fucking out there, you're fucking stopping some terrible crime from happening in your neighborhood, that ain't no fucking rat. Okay. And we got to change that shit. Okay. Holding people accountable isn't a fucking, you ain't a rat. You ain't a trick. You're fucking holding people accountable that should be fucking being held accountable. Okay. And that's the bottom line. If I could do that with my background, okay, and everything, like, because you got to understand, man, I was a little hoodlum, man. Okay, I'm the first one to tell you, but I learned the lesson real early in life. Okay, real early. Had to be about 1975. Remember, I told you my mom was an alcoholic, right? So there was a bar, Coach and Six, and there was a little Italian bar right down the street, all within 2 blocks of my house on Ridgeway Avenue in Irving Park. Okay, in Chicago, Ridgeway and Pulaski, Ridgeway and Elston. I mean, Irving and Elston, Irving and Pulaski area. There's a little bar there. There's a little Italian joint. And that's where my mom would go after work. Okay. And I'd be sitting there dancing to Elvis Presley. My sisters would dress me up with the fucking black suede shoes and shit. You know, like I'd be like having the Dickies on, the little white shirt, hair greased back with 3 flowers. Like couldn't be no older than 6 years old, 7 years old. And I'd be over there dancing in this bar, playing, goofing around, you know, because my mom would be drinking. And all these little Italian guys got to know me. You know what I mean? That ran the bar. So I called one day. There was this guy walking in there selling, like, he had this big duffel bag full of fucking tools. And back in the 70s, tools weighed a lot. You know what I mean? So this was like a big hockey bag. Now I know it was, but at the time it just looked like a big duffel bag, you know. But he had all these tools and he was trying to sell it to all these Italian guys there. And every Italian guy was brushing them off. He gets to the guy in the back and he goes, "Hey, man, dude, we don't want none of your fucking tools, dude. Stolen tools." So the guy kind of pushed it. He goes, "Come on, man. They're mine and everything." So the guy goes, "How much you want for this?" He goes, "Oh, $5." The guy goes, "You're full of shit. This is $100 fucking tool." So they wound up fucking getting an argument. The guy wound up getting dragged in the middle of the street. And at the curb, they bounced every one of them tools off this guy. And then when he turned around and he looked at me, he goes, "Mikey," he goes, because I'm standing at the door. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? I mean, I'm just like 6 years old, you know, and I'm watching this guy in a pool of blood there with a whole bunch of tools laid him under the curb. And he goes, "That's what you get when you steal a working man's tools." Okay. I never took from nobody. I'd hit Sears. I would hit the big stores, go walking out with shopping carts, but I would never try to take from anybody that was just trying to get ahead, just like me. You know what I mean? There was like, I learned that lesson a long time. So when I was fucking up, even when I was fucking up, I wasn't trying to burn people. Yeah, there's stores now and I realized that and everything. But it's still, I had this, a code, I should say, back then. So like when you hurt people like that, then I was different, you know? So like I had a record for doing crazy, for stealing a lot of shit that I got caught with $45,000 worth of computer equipment when I was 16 years old. They from the O'Hare National Guard base. Okay, they were so embarrassed they dropped the fucking charges. Okay, because a 16-year-old kid went on that National Guard base that took $45,000 worth of computer equipment. Okay, it was thrown out. That's how much of a hoodlum I was. So I really changed my life. So for these people to feel like they would come over to court 20 years later, you understand what I mean? Says a lot, for a homicide detective to come and do that. I really changed my life. And I really am doing the stuff that's trying to change people's views. So like everybody could be doing something. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whether, if you're cutting somebody, if you're rescuing an old lady or whatever, you could take the opportunity to do something positive in your neighborhood to help change this shit. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to matter because people are going to remember that. We're going to remember, and that's going to speak. You can never forget kindness. Okay. It doesn't matter who you are. If somebody shows you kindness and they help you, okay, it's going to change your point of view in some way. Okay. They can't take that away. So that's where I came up with the deeds for weed and all that. But I'm not doing 1 gram dab, so I'm not getting the 10,000 likes. I'm kind of old school. You ask somebody to go do a good deed in the name of weed, they act like you're go and ask them to, pick up shit, eat some shit in the backyard. Nowadays it's kind of weird, man. Like how it is, man. Now, I mean, but I'm gonna still tell you this to this day. That's the answer. If we have fucking 10 million videos of people all around the world doing good deeds and all flying under one flag, okay, so it's easily found, that shit's gonna make a statement. Okay, a statement that's undeniable that we belong in this fucking country just like everybody else, and it's not behind bars. That we're beautiful people. We love our humanity. We love humanity. We love our country. We love our planet. Okay, and we deserve to be here too. Okay, and we don't deserve to be now. All this bullshit with the tax to patient and all this shit that's going on right now. If we did this and demanded complete freedom, they'd have no choice. They would have no choice because now what was the last thing they said? The federal studies. They need more federal studies, right? Fuck your federal studies, dude. You studied fentanyl, right? The FDA passed fentanyl, killing people, right? Vioxx killed people. There's not one death from this plant. And yet we're over here accepting all these limitations and all this shit and thinking that we have to jump through these hoops. Yeah, if we're going to continue to treat it like it's bullshit and it's just a joke, yeah, then we're going to have to jump through these hoops. Like if we treat it like it's alcohol and shit, yeah, because it's not. I ain't never smoked so much weed to where I woke up with somebody I didn't want to wake up next to the next morning. Never. Not in my life. Okay? Now you think you're going to get freedom with these fucking drug laws. Oh, yeah, this law, they're just going to make more rules. They're fixing the deck. They're changing the goal line every time. Okay? So fine, you're not going to get in trouble for having it. Now you're going to get in trouble if they swab you while you're driving it. It doesn't change. They're still going to fucking, you vote for this shit. You vote. And then what they do in Michigan? Wasn't that at 2:30 in the morning? Vote change after they held them hostage after you guys voted for this shit? If you can't see they're changing the fucking goal lines every fucking time and making up the rules, fuck, I moved there and I couldn't even speak at the fucking hashbacks. I got fucking turned away by fucking Carmi over there when I wanted to fucking speak the 1 year. Okay, I'm standing up on the stage. I got 2 known activists who see me at multiple cups, see me talking to Carmi. Okay, and that might not even be your fucking name for all I know. But anyways, I went up there on those steps and they saw me and I asked us, hey man, I want to speak. I want to say something. I won't take that long. I was even going to give them a rhyme or two. And I got denied. They fucking told me, no. And then somebody to go up there, legalize it. And that's it. When I had some serious shit to say, what about the people who move here by your laws that you just passed, that they just passed up here? You change your lives, you buy stuff, you get everything, you plan on staying and becoming a resident of the state because the laws suit you and they keep fucking changing them. This restriction. Then you got motherfuckers like Bailey, okay, who are fucking over there, who gets elected to the fucking thing, to the board right there. And that motherfucker, now come on, man. You spend 20 years of your life or whatever fucking years in the state police, okay? And you're telling me that the fucking hat that you're gonna shine all your light on is anti-weed when you got over 500,000 fucking untested rape kits in the fucking state? And that's where you're gonna fucking stand up and that's gonna be where you wear your sword and your armor. The weed was so bad. And then they elect them onto that thing. Dude, if you can't tell it's a fixed fucking deck, then you ain't got your eyes open. And it ain't gonna get fucking freedom until we get these fucking bullshit politicians out of the fucking picture. How are we gonna do that? How are you gonna do that? Anybody else have a better idea than going out and doing a whole bunch of good deeds in the name of weed and fucking tagging them so we could say, hey man, we belong here just as much. So look, Aunt Betty down the street who you helped now is a warrior for you. Leave these fuckers alone. You know what I mean? You know, dude, it's once the mass wakes up. Now people, we got other things to worry about. I know, man, we got a lot of things going wrong in this country, but we are too deluded. And unless we join up and really focus with a fucking point like an arrow and really fly under one flag, this shit ain't gonna change with this marijuana. And I believe that by changing this stuff with the marijuana, we're gonna get the right politicians in there, and they're gonna start looking at things. Those politicians are actually gonna be looking at things the right way. You know what I'm saying? I hope. But the bottom line is, it ain't gonna be legal until the FDA and we get them fucking out of the picture and the federal government. Okay? Because all these fucking bullshit laws, the feds could still come in and grab your ass. And I've seen it. Happen to my boys on the East Coast. Fucking I'll have medical cards. I'll have everything, right? I'll growing totally through the numbers. High Times writes an article about them. They get raided a week later. These guys got kids, get taken away from their kids, everything over a fucking plant. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to fucking really realize this shit and stop fucking separating ourselves? Okay. You had a young lady up on your show, Angel, who I remember she went up to the Capitol, right? Now you got to understand something. We got 50 bills or so going against marijuana and against our rights in the state of Michigan, right? We need 75, 100 going against those bills. So it doesn't matter how many fucking bills, okay, that they got up, that we got going against them. We need to support every single one of them, and hopefully one of them sticks. So we win, and we get it out of their fucking hands, okay? And unless we're willing to do that, then you're going to be the tax the patient bucket system. Okay, you're going to be having cancer patients being like in Illinois charged 70, 120 bucks a gram for RSO through the dispensaries, to where they can't get the consistent treatment, they can't get the consistent meds, so they aren't going to really heal themselves. It's sabotaging the system. It's sabotaging their healing. Okay, by having this government in control, making you jump throughout. Now you should have that option. If you want to go into a matrix type of system, me as Billy Bob Grower, we all should be able to grow. We should have a cheap, cost-effective way where we could put it into this system if we want to sell it through the system, where we want to sell to people because they want to know it's been tested and stuff like that. But we should also be able to do it like the tomatoes, and you should be able to go to your cousin who you've known, who knows how to grow, and be able to buy and come back home safely without having to fucking worry about it. Okay, there's no proof that this shit fucking impairs driving. Okay, but yet they're gonna fucking target all these things. I'm watching the news, they're fucking saying, oh yeah, oh no, marijuana has gone up in kids over last, and now they're not smoking cigarettes and this and that. Like it's a bad thing. You know, and what bad shit do they have to say about it? All on slanted studies. Now, I'm not saying that people can't, like, I wouldn't recommend anybody drive on new meds, okay, while trying them, because sometimes, man, I take a hit and I get dizzy. You know what I mean? If you don't know the fucking meds, then maybe you might want to pull the fuck over and see how they're going to affect your ass. Okay, and then before you drive on them, that would be my only dangerous thing if I'm being real, that I could see an issue with. Unless you know your meds. If you don't know them, then it could be an issue, because somebody gets some heavy shit that fucking puts you dizzy, you know what I mean? While you're driving, going 70 miles, I smoke weed every day, and if I still get dizzy, You know, imagine somebody new. You know, if I get some good shit, man, I get a good fucking bomb ass hit of fucking some good concentrates or something out of the pen or something, a new concentrate that I'm not used to. Hey, it can happen at times, you know. So we got to be real. We got to be real with these with ourselves and with others about the limitations, and you know, and if we want to be taken serious too, you know what I'm saying. So we got to understand that and come to grips with that. That yeah, maybe you shouldn't be. You know, there's certain kids that I'd rather give the kid fucking rather than Ritalin, maybe a hash brownie. You know what I mean? But I maybe I wouldn't want I didn't let my kids start partaking if they wanted to until they were 18. So they're developed a little bit more if they wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? That was their choice then. But I was going to get them to the age where they could get out of school and without any of that if they didn't need it. You know, but I'll tell you one thing: if I took them to the doctor for hyperactive or something like that, and they told me put them on Ritalin or something, I'd most definitely try a hash brownie first. You know, and see how they'd act. You know, maybe a quarter one, see if that helps rather than take these meds. You know, man, because I don't like I said, we got a pill for everything, but we can't smoke a natural herb. What the fuck's up with that? I'm sorry, man. I talked a little bit. I dragged on a little bit, man. I'm trying to get it all out. Well, a little bit of energy I got, man. You know, so
No, brother, keep going. I mean, everybody in chat is like, I agree with everything he's saying. And, you know, that's why I haven't jumped in, man. I agree 100% with everything you're saying. The medicine for, you know, even the youth, 100%. You know, what bothers me, I begged the question the other night about the change in cannabis. And I think the problem is and will continue to be until it's the same problem with everything, my friend. The same problems that fall with doctors that want to do the right thing. The same thing that falls with lawyers that want to do the right thing.
oh
You
yeah,
know what
that's
I
another
mean?
thing.
It's this right here.
Yeah,
You
and
know
that
what I mean? And until these politicians stop worrying about being career politicians, you know what I mean? And not being able to get into the like the federal ring because of their stance on cannabis, you know what I mean? They're not going to do it because it's a money thing. We need
yeah,
more people there in the fight because they're in it for the fight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's
and the
rarity.
lawyer, and yeah, and the lawyers and stuff. Like, I mean, I'm kind of we got a whole bunch of pot lawyers now. You're telling me that they can't come up with a federal case to try to challenge this shit, but they're not. They could put in some pro bono hours and shit and get donations and stuff from that and get this shit and really nip this thing in the bud, but they're not. You know what I mean? We got these politicians who and these people. We're holding up the wrong people. Some guy like me comes on and says, "Hey, do good deeds. I don't want your money. I don't want nothing from you. Go out and do good deeds. Capture it on video, okay, and post it in one place. Tag it so we all fly under one flag." How many likes do you think I get?
No,
Let's be
no.
honest here. 10. But if I were to go take one of my fucking jars that I could do a fucking 10, 15 gram hit anytime I want. You understand what I'm saying? And did that, I get 10,000 likes. Okay, that's bullshit, man. Okay, we fought hard for this shit, not to give it away to these fucking corporations. People have fought with blood, tears, and sweat. And I know people like Jack here, who I got to know personally, who held up my local floor, wore my shit, would be turning in their graves with the way that these patients are being treated right now and the way that people are still being treated. Nobody still to this day has took his fucking money, the $50,000 challenge that he put out about this plant. And see, man, that to me is disgusting. We're losing it. We're losing it. We're getting so polluted with this and that and these little cliques and this little clique that wants to censor this voice because they don't like how they la 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 la. And you got these people who think that they're fucking gods in this weed world and they're and you know that they're too good for everybody and not to listen to anything else, man. Bullshit. We're all a fucking family. Okay. And what you're talking about doing is taking our fucking Uncle Sam, who's robbed Aunt Petty and held down little nephew Paul, okay, and been struggling and been proven to fucking been stealing and robbing from the people. We're gonna give him grandma's fucking will to distribute. Come on, man. That's what we're doing with this fucking government. We know that this government's been lying to us since 1937. Okay, at least we've used this thing for a plant for thousands of years. It's been on this planet. Okay, but you want to keep these fuckers in control. You want to give that fucking crooked ass motherfucker who's only tried to fuck us and take money from us every inch of the fucking way and hold us down, and you want to give him control over this plant and accept that. That's bullshit, man. Okay, that's bullshit. That's not their plant. Until we fucking get everybody up on that thing platform and really start changing our neighborhoods and start changing the way everybody looks at us, we're not going to be taken serious. It's going to be given to the corporate, and there's no reason why anybody's going to stop them if we're not standing together. If we can't even fucking unite and put all the other bullshit, the fucking all the other drugs out, and when you do a weed movement, have it about weed. How about that? Come on, let's have it about weed, not mix the fucking alcohol in there, not mix all the other bullshit in there, and let's keep it for that. Dude, you hear cancer fucking going about Botox? You know, when they're advertising, look at every other corporation. They're keeping it to one arrowhead. They're keeping it to one point. Okay, they're not clouding it with all this other bullshit. Okay, and we need to do the fucking same. Otherwise, it's not going to get fucking legal. And that's the truth, man. And if nobody wants to hear it, then that's fine. Okay, then I guess that we're going to be controlled from forever. Then, okay. And then I'll, but man, don't fucking act like you're trying to change this shit, and you're out there, you're part of the problem. And that's what we see. That's what I'm seeing too much. You know what I mean? Now, man, I'm not perfect. I told you how I'm not perfect. I have flaws, man. Okay. But I'm telling you about this point, I'm right. Okay. I know it. I seen it with my own eyes, what kindness and doing the right thing can change somebody. Now, dude, listen to what I'm saying, dude. A homicide detective drove 3.5 hours to testify on my behalf once he got to know me as being, and he knew that I was a pothead in a weed case. How often does that happen? A hardened Chicago cop. Come on, man. It doesn't. But you have to change their views. You have to. That's the only way we're going to win this shit. Okay? And put it right in their face. If every time you turned around, you had a new video about TikToks about people doing good deeds and tagging it deeds of weed, it's in your face. Okay? Then they have positive shit to say about it rather than negative, right? What more studies do you need? We're doing studies right now. You know what I mean? Look, humanity's great with these, Now, granted, we have a whole bunch, every community has their people that are not, real. And we got to weed those fuckers out. Okay? Because they'll do us more harm than good. We really got to weed those motherfuckers out. And only you guys, only people around could do that. You got to, who's going to check your friends rather than your friends, right? Who's going to pull your friend up than another friend? We got to start holding each other accountable, and be okay with it. Have it not as an attack, have it be like, oh man, I never looked at it from that point, because we got to do it in a kind way to where people, like, you see, I'm not trying to enter. I did mention one name, Carmi, and I'm sorry, but that kind of rubbed me wrong. Okay. When she didn't let me up there on those steps, I felt like this is not her movement. This is the people's movement. And here I am, a guy from out of state. I told her that what I wanted to say, something, a little bit of it. And it's like they were the gatekeeper. And we have people like that. I'm using it as an example. Carmi, I'm sure you're probably a sweet lady. I'm not trying to attack you in any way. I'm just telling you how I felt that day. Okay. When you did that. Okay. That's all I can control. I can't control you. I can't tell the reason why, but this is how I walked away from that event that day. Okay. And there's no reason why a fellow stoner should feel that way, walking away from an event at a capital steps where you're supposed to have a right to voice your opinion as well. Now, I understand there's guidelines and shit, but you had two people up there. Well, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. I probably should. Somebody's going to tell me, why didn't you throw them under the bus? But we had two people up there that knew me, that go to all these events, that were at high times, who are at every one. I'm sure you guys could pick them out. The same 2 people are at every fucking one of the events and shit. And they're real political. Okay. But they knew that I wasn't able to speak, but they didn't say a fucking word to help a fellow man up there. Okay. And I felt like, oh, I'm sure they're going to discount it, but I'm telling you, we need to be more aware of our people and what we're doing. Okay. Because not everybody acts like they're for us is for us. And we got to understand that they might want to be for us, but they're doing actions that are fucking hurting us. And they're leading people down the wrong path. Maybe with the best of intentions, but that doesn't matter. Okay. We need to fucking start waking up and start checking this shit. And if we're going to get it changed, I'm telling you, the answer is going to be in doing good deeds in your neighborhood, changing all the people around you's fucking mind of what a pothead is, of what a stoner is, of what somebody that consumes this natural herb is. Okay. That's the way we're going to beat it, man. That's the only way we're going to beat it. Okay. Because all this other bullshit, we got millions of dollars fighting against us. What can beat millions of dollars? Love. Dude, I've seen it firsthand. I couldn't have paid that guy to come in, that state's attorney, to push that card over. I couldn't have paid that lawyer that represented me in Wisconsin when I went up there, how I met him a week before I even caught the case. Now, this is what God works in your life, right, man? You don't even know it. I'm over there a week before I even got charged with that case in Wisconsin, right? My brother got busted in Admirable, Wisconsin, for fucking, he got busted with weed. And my mom goes, hey, man, you're going to drive your brother up there to court because we don't want him to be alone. I'm like, okay, I'll go there, but I'm not stepping a foot in that courthouse. Okay. And they're like, it's okay, wait outside. So I'm waiting outside. And as he's in the courthouse with that ticket for weed, out comes these guys in suits. I go, hey, are you guys lawyers? Are you guys lawyers? Yeah. One of them goes, yeah, I'm a lawyer. I go, do you criminal? He goes, yeah. I go, do you do weed? He goes, yeah, man, I'm a normal lawyer. We wound up going back, smoking a fucking joint. I spit a couple rhymes to him in his car. Fucking dude gave him a little blessing, dude. He handed me the fucking thing, the card. I gave his card and says, if you ever need any help, man, you give me a call, dude. 3 weeks later, dude, I call this guy up. He represented me for 2 years, dude. Charged me $2,500 when other people are charging $25,000 for the other lawyers, the codependents. And this guy represented me harder than any one of them. He wouldn't have did that if it wasn't for being real and love. He's seen that I was real. He's seen that I was deep for this plant. He's heard it in my words, with my rhymes. He saw it in my actions. And that was able to then he was able to fucking turn around and open up his heart and go out of his way to help a fellow stone. I'm telling you, it's all about how we represent this plant. If we act fucking asses, we're going to look like asses. And then people are going to have a hard time standing up for you. But in today's world, who knows, man? We're standing up. I see people standing up for some crazy ass fucking shit, to be honest with you. I would have never thought that my fellow stoners who have been held down so long would fucking, with all that, know that this government lies to us and knows all the shit, and they'd be up on the shaming people to do something that they didn't want to do. And I'm not going to talk anymore about that, but you know what I'm talking about. What are we dealing with for the last 2 years? And they try to guilt you and make you feel bad and this and that, and talk down to you because you didn't, and it's just, dude, where this government, that's the big thing, man. I can't trust that this government has my best intentions in mind. I can't trust that this pharmaceutical companies has my best interest in mind. I really can't. I know they got their best interest in line. I know they got the good old boys. When you got millions of dollars, they got their best in mind. But man, it seems like they only want to fucking hold me down and find ways to take my money. And it's sickening. It's sickening that we're accepting this, because we could change this shit. We could quit playing their fucking game. And once we get people, grandmas, aunts, all seeing that we belong in this country too, that's how this shit's going to change.
Yeah. I heard you mention, grandma's inheritance, at one point. There, at this point, there is no grandma's inheritance anymore, because The pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, pick them clean like vultures. You know what I mean? To keep them
Oh yeah,
alive
no,
when
I know.
they took in that oath, fresh out to keep you healthy. You know what I mean? In some way, somewhere along the lines, it gets blurred.
And it ain't only marijuana; it's every natural cure. Everyone that when you go to health food, there's sort of the doctor can't prescribe you that. The doctor, most doctors, unless you go to a herb doctor, or like what I forget what those call the holistic doctors or something. But if you go to like a regular doctor, they can't really prescribe you too much natural shit. You can't. If you say me and you came up with a product that ginseng and this and that and all totally legal shit, and we found that it cured like let's just say what's the skin thing where you got some skin disorder, right? Emphysema or whatever you call it, or whatever they call that shit.
And
You got something on your skin, right? And we come up with this massive cure. We can't say, oh, this cures it, this fixes it, but they can. They can, because they did these studies that don't mean nothing, because look at it, you can't even watch TV at 3:00 in the afternoon. I mean, 3:00 in the evening anymore. What, do you suffer from this, from taking this medication? Do you suffer with leaky bowel from taking that? You suffer from this. These are all stuff that was approved by the FDA. And you know how many people had to suffer before that became a case? That's the sad part. You're probably talking about 10,000 people probably had to fucking call up and complain about this shit and push and have their whole lives destroyed before somebody would even take a case to help them fight and go against these things. And then you got the Supreme Court who turns around and decides, picks and chooses which cases they want to hear. You know, that's a come. We really, man, dude, we need to start. If we're going to do anything political, we need to take the stoners and put term limits on Supreme Court justices, and term limits on these things help push movements for that, because then we could get in these younger politicians who are going to actually fight for what's right, instead of having these career politicians in there. You know what I mean? That's how we're going to do that. With these sheriffs, Baileys should never be allowed to be on no boards after that. I mean, come on, think about that. And Wisconsin, and Michigan, you had a lieutenant who dedicated his life to law enforcement, and when he gets out, he retires. His war that he goes after is not the fucking rapes and child molesters and shit like that. He wants to go after the potheads.
I heard there was a cannabis event in here in Michigan tonight that got raided, and everybody fucking ran like an old school raid. They said the building was empty in like 2 minutes.
And how many untested? And I wonder how many untested
cannabis
we have right now. I wonder how many untested rape kits we have right now in Michigan right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, and this is what they're going after. They're going after people that over a plant that's been around for them, that's proven that it doesn't, that it's better than any other plant out there or any other drug. It's not going to fucking kill you. It's not going to, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to categorize it as a drug, it's an herb, but it's the least of the worries of, it should be the least of the worries of all the things. You know what I'm saying? Aspirin kills more people than it ever did, which nobody has been proven to die off this plant. So what I'm saying is how come our fellow people are letting this happen? Because we're deluded. We're all fighting and bickering among other shit. People think they're better, this and that. We need to change that. We need to come together if we're going to beat this. Okay? We're not going to beat it being separate. Okay? And if that means fucking, kicking some people to the curb, because they're doing bad for us, then we need to do that as a community. Okay? And that's only right. Okay, we can't be having events with child molesters and shit mixing with good people, that aren't doing this shit. And then it gives everybody then the person, then we start being looked at different. I mean, I don't know, man. To me, I'm like, dude, there's a couple things that you can't accept. You can't accept. I mean, and the community, and so. I mean, now it seems like that's more acceptable when you got maps and shit like that, where they're trying to re-terminalize it and stuff. But that's a little bit, I'm trying not to dip into the political shit. I'm trying to keep it more about weed, but how this affects to weed. This affects the weed because it dips in there they're dipping in there. Like I had a person, not going to name no names, but at one of these bowling events, go and pull me over by some table and have me taking pictures with this guy. And then I find out the guy's a child molester, and then he's going to get pissed off when somebody calls him out on that. No, man, that's bullshit, dude. Okay, I don't want to be associated with that. You don't know what's happened in my life, what I've seen from my family and shit, dude. That could be trauma I don't want to be around. And how dare you put me in a situation without telling me that, and having these type of people around us, predators. We need to hold ourselves to a higher level, because if we're asking for change, we got to show people that hey man, we're better than all that bullshit that you're thinking about us. We're not that. And how do we do that if we're mixing with the fucking wrong and letting the wrong people represent us? I mean, you don't see, if you imagine if you're a lawyer, are you going to go get a lawyer, or are you going to go get the guy at McDonald's standing out handing change begging for change? Not that he's a bad person, but when you represent yourself, you don't want to have yourself being represented right? You don't want to have, you don't want to put out the wrong, persona of what we are. And we should be all about getting this plant legal. Nothing else. Nothing else. Fuck all the other bullshit. Fuck all this other shit that they want to boomer, then join a boomer organization. Let's keep it simple. Keep it about weed. Okay. If we're fighting weed, if you're, that's how it has to be. Okay. If we're going to win it, you don't see any corporations, veering off the path. They have one goal. We got to set goals and really conquer these things. Man, I'm not a clerical type. Otherwise, I would sit there and fucking try to do this shit. But I'll tell you what, I'll support anybody that's trying to do right. Whatever I can. But I'm not the guy. I type like I'm pointing a chicken. Okay, so I'm like chicken typing. I write. I'm got my GED in the joint in Maryville Academy when I was in St. Charles when I was a kid. So I made it through fucking trade school because I had brains up here and I had mechanical mind. But it wasn't because I was real clerical. You know what I'm saying? So, half of the people can't even read my rhymes if I'm writing them on a piece of paper. You know what I mean? I can, but you ain't going to be able to read my writing, So I'm saying we need that people that can do that shit to step up and be true blue about it, and really and not be bamboozled by the people that are fucking saying they are and aren't, who have ulterior motives, who really want to give the power to somebody and accepting that. We shouldn't be accepting that no more. In this time of the game, there's enough information out, there's enough research to know that they fucking lied their fucking ass off and they've been destroying people's lives since 1937. Nothing gives them the right. They've been paid enough. How much more do they want? Do they want our blood? Okay. We paid for generations of people getting denied educations, getting their property taken, getting time in jail. How much more do we have to pay them to be free? How much more control do we have to relinquish when they're still fucking us over every chance they get? When do we say enough's enough? And say, fuck all our little petty differences and join together, because that's what we're not doing that now. We got this organization, that organization, and we're all apart. We're nothing. But when you put that to a point, okay, then we're something to be feared. And right now I'm coming out back out again because my kids are grown. So I'm going to be doing my CD, doing my spoken word poetry more. I'm going to be performing. I'm writing more rhymes. Okay, I'm gonna get this shit fucking where at least I can fucking try to motivate my people in the way that I feel I can with my voice. That's what I have, And obviously you can see I've been locked up long enough in this house, so I fucking feel like I could talk. I haven't shut up fucking since I said now, but I stopped the mailman, so I got a lot of shit to say.
I love the passion, my friend. And I think you're exactly right. You know, we do need to quit fighting amongst ourselves over ego, money, bullshit. You know what I mean? And you're right. The best way to do that is put forth a good, positive example of positivity, doing nice things for each other. You know, it's something I think you may enjoy. The first year I started doing this, um, my good friend Smiley Garden suggested, 420 is coming up, you know, we should do something. You know what I mean? And we kicked it around a little bit and we talked a little bit back and forth and we decided, we'd do a 24-hour thing for 420. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. But we wanted to we didn't want it to be a stoner thing. We were more like what you're talking right now. We ended up wanting to gear it towards charity or something like that. So we ended up the theme of the show ended up being show them your heart, not your sack. We tried to do it like we threw it together in a week, and it was right in the beginning of COVID, and we couldn't get nobody. Nobody was even answering phones because nothing was open at the time, and the few people that we could get to answer didn't want no cannabis influenced help. You know what I mean? Which I found very disheartening. So in the end, we just encouraged the people that came on throughout the day to, before or as they were leaving, point our attention to something that was near and dear to them, a charity, seeing something, you know what I mean? So we could be more aware of some of the shit that was going on around us. And then if you wanted to get behind that, whatever that message was, then you could get behind that message. It wasn't like a blanket one. You know what I mean? So where we were just, oh, this is for cancer. It was, let's make light of a lot of things that we could do. So I appreciate your message 100%, man.
Yeah, and what I was thinking was, like I would like to throw like eventually like start throwing parties and then taking those proceeds in the areas where we throw these parties and get a piece of vacant lot and build a beautiful meditation garden there, like with like streets named after like Jack Herer and the people, and show the faces of broken tears, like where you have a garden with only rocks where nothing can grow and people will grow their seeds in there, and you'd have pictures of the POWs of the drug war and how it's destroyed their life, so the little grandma could walk down the street and tip in this garden and fucking be like, whoa, not even know what she's walking into, but people could be educated about what this war is all about and have them in a lot of different places wherever we go. You know what I mean? And we throw these parties, we take those proceeds to do that, and hopefully get organizations like Normal and stuff together to like co-sponsor it, to take care of these things, where you get people invested in their community, where they're going there daily and upkeeping these places and building a relationship with their neighbors. That's some of the stuff that I'm kind of picturing when I see this stuff. When I close my eyes and I think about this, like like how can we make an impact to change neighborhoods, and to bring people's awareness to what the real war is all about and how it's impacted so many people, because I don't think our neighbors really realize how much it's impacted and how it impacts families, and to lose a father because he got busted growing, or, when you take a father out of the house, or even a mother, like now, I mean, like in Michigan, when the kid comes out, you could have codeine, you can have all this other like fentanyl, like whatever fucking prescription drug you want in there. But if you have weed, they threaten to take your fucking kid away. When I heard that, it totally like just like was a slap in the face when I heard that from one of the young ladies in the community when she was having a baby, and she was really concerned about that. So that they would rather have the baby come out addicted to like a like a pharmaceutical and treat the addiction, rather than have this young lady stop whatever the narcotic would be, okay, and use marijuana where the kid doesn't come out addicted at all. You know, and you see this, and then the thing with the firearms. So like we're like treated like second class citizens. Okay, even though we got a prescription and stuff, we still have to fight the stigma. And the only way that you're gonna beat that is if we do shit like what I'm telling you. Okay, I firmly believe this in my heart because look, we've done every other way, right? Is it helping? Or are we getting more shit put on us? Right now, maybe somebody will listen to this old gray-haired fucking stoner, okay, and say, "Hey, man, you know, maybe this guy ain't right." I don't want your money. I don't want a fucking penny, dude, from nobody. Okay, I want you guys. What would be more beautiful is if I lit the spark, okay, that ignited the fucking fire of beauty across this fucking world. That would be enough, okay, to change this shit. I hope one day I'm sitting there and I'm able to fucking not live with the stigma of all the bullshit. Like me, I'm old enough. I don't care. I don't care what you fucking think about me anymore, dude. Okay? I don't care, man. Okay? But what I do act right. I try to, every decision I try to make, I try to think about, and the people that know me know this is true. Okay? Yeah. Do I fail? Have I fucking, maybe my word, you know, I give him my word, but then I almost die. Okay. And then so I can't fucking do what I used to do anymore. So I can't keep my word. Yeah, that's happened. Okay. Because I've been fucking battling for my life for 2 years. But when I gave my word, I have every intention of keeping it. And I'm going to do what I can. And it's going to be something catastrophic. We got to stand for and be right. Okay. Otherwise, how are we supposed to change other people's views unless you're real? And there's too many fake people out there representing this plant. Represent, like, okay, for instance, okay, High Times, a judge for years. Okay. When you have a judge's house and you have somebody like High come and donate fucking 150 fucking porcelain nails, right? And then you got people, this is the kind of people that I'm talking about, where you got people who go up to that table and fill up their backpack, okay, with all them nails, while they fucking cheat their fellow stoners who are sitting there that were supposed to get a couple of them. And you got them over there being snaky and grimy. Okay. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, dude, you ask, and everybody's like, oh, High Times this, man, High Times, dude, I got to be part of the golden years of High Times back when they were they were real. They stood. But then you had people stealing computers, taking shit, you know, and then you wonder, oh man, how come High Times quit letting judges and all this shit? Well, look, man, what the crowd that was happening, what they were doing. We got a whole bunch of snaky ass fucking people trying to be a part of it for ulterior motives to get rich and to benefit off it rather than to fucking change it. So if the whole goal is to benefit off it, then the people are going to benefit off it. Then you're going to have very few benefiting off of it, and the rest are not. Okay, if it's to change it to free everybody up, the people are going to be making the actions to free everybody up. They're going to be walking that walk. They're going to be doing actions that free everybody up rather than fucking try to just profit. Now, yeah, should we be able to profit off it? Yeah, we've paid for so many years. Yeah, but we're not. I don't think that given the power to be taxed when we've already been paying for so many years, and then when this money just goes into a big fund like to fix roads and shit when they're really not fixing them, and they're going in all these pockets and shit that aren't benefiting the people. No, give that break to the patient then. Okay, Aunt Betty shouldn't be paying more than $20 a gram for RSO. Okay, especially somebody that has cancer and that's trying to heal themselves. You know, but here we got in Illinois, $60, $120. They were so wrong that we're going to decriminalize it. We're going to expunge everybody's records, but then we're going to make it so only 5 people could grow, and you have to have millions of dollars to do it. And then we're going to tax the fuck out of the patient. And that's what they're trying to do to Michigan right now. Okay, they're trying to take it out of the caregiver's hands. Okay, and give it to these big corporations. That's how come everything's being flooded. The whole industry is being flooded right now. Just because of the big corporations are taking the little guys out of business. That's what they're trying to do.
So how come like anything like that's supposed to be ethical, like the two we've already kind of pointed out, the medical, the legal system, you know what I mean? Both in which they're supposed to, go pro bono a certain amount of their time. You know what I mean? Why can't the cannabis industry be like that? You know what I mean? Why can't each one of these license holder have to give 10-15%
Because you
to the
got
medical side?
well, you got that pretending to do that. You got companies out there that are trying to take over across the country. And the way they're doing is they're hosting these business startups, right? Because now that you need minorities, right? So now they're trying to give it to minorities, which is right. In the ethnic neighborhoods, they deserve to have businesses, and they've been penalized, drastically for it. So they should be getting these businesses. But then they make the hoops so expensive to jump through to where they need help. They need money. Okay. And then so you got these big corporations saying, okay, yeah, we're going to pay for your lawyers. We're going to pay. And ultimately, it's still owned by the fucking big guys because we're releasing that power. We're accepting that instead of fucking going up there and getting it off the fucking on into the Constitution in Michigan. What was that? Arbor Gate? Again, I didn't know too much of it, but I heard that it was going to change the Constitution, right? Which would take it out of their hands, a lot of it. Now, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but why shouldn't we start? Why shouldn't we try from every angle to free it up? And if you're not, then are you really for this plan? Okay, because let's face it, if you had a kid with cancer, you're not going to turn down no avenues to try to get that kid the medicine that he needs, right? Okay, you're going to take every avenue, every bill, every chance you could fight for it to get that kid his medicine, right? So why are we turning away? If we're really fighting to get this shit free, why are we selecting only this one and only that one and only this one that keeps the government further in control? Why is that? Oh, we need money. We need money. Well, that ain't right. Okay, and no, we don't. We have enough pot lawyers in the fucking world that should be able to come together and challenge this fucking shit. So let's fucking do it. I'm not dude. I'll donate heating and cooling. How about that? You know what I mean? Fine. I'll donate some heating and cooling to one of these lawyers, man, to get them to fucking, to get them like if they can't do it on their own.
Shit, it doesn't even take that. I mean, it just takes, even if they couldn't do it, they could at least band together and don't, like they said, they're supposed to have some pro bono time. They could at least be throwing us presidents, you know what I mean? Things to look into that, you know what I mean? The people themselves could start building their cases, you know what I mean? They could help at least start throwing us some bones.
And it could be that they're scared because I'll tell you what, man, the war is real. And don't think that immediately when you start speaking the truth, you're gonna wind up with fucking one of your rhymes played in the courtroom and get fucking 6 years in some conspiracy. And that's what they're doing. That's how they do this shit. Okay, and we got to understand that. So the war I'm talking about fighting, I think it could win without even being in a courtroom, and they can't turn it and twist it. If we're out there making it to where we fucking tag something, fine. If you don't want to use deeds for weed, fine, use whatever the fuck you want, but let's fly under one flag. I don't care. I'm not greedy. I don't want this is something that I want to win. Okay. So it doesn't matter whose name it flies under, what you know what I mean? As long as we're flying under one fucking flag, dude, we ain't gonna win this shit unless we are. Okay, we're all split up. And until we fucking get joined together and really with an arrowhead fucking conquer this fucking thing, it ain't gonna go down. The beast ain't gonna go down unless we really fucking focus on it and focus on a way where it's not combative. We can combat it with love and kindness, dude. I'm telling you, okay, that is the answer. Every other fucking way comes back right to that. Okay, you're gonna change everybody's mind if you're doing good shit. Then shit, Bailey doesn't have the ammo to sit on the board and say that if you have fucking 10,000 citizens in all these neighborhoods doing awesome shit, his words are gonna ring the deaf ears. Because the ants and the people in that community know better. They're gonna call him on that bullshit. Then you got 5,000 people. Hey man, how come you're only worried about weed and you're not worried about rapes and shit? You think that that's what you'd be worried about? Something like that. You know, call these motherfuckers out. When you have little old grannies doing it and fucking grandpas doing it, that makes a much difference. You know, than just some guy with long hair calling them out. Then we just look like fucking separate, like, you know, we got 50 people showing up. I know people have to work and shit, but we need to fucking do this shit. Okay, we're gonna need to do it if we want it free. Unless you like paying taxes for it and paying for fucking pocketbooks of somebody and politicians, because that money ain't going towards our roads. Go look at those fucking roads in Michigan. Look how dirty. Look at them, man. I see potholes that would kill a motherfucker on a bike. Okay, this shit ain't going back into schools. What happened to our money from the lotteries? Is it going into schools? Is it going in there? Look, we have the worst fucking schools. It's all going into special interest, and lobbyists are controlling it. So unless we take more than the lobbyists, unless we change it in a different way, we can't compete with the money when they're printing it. They have more money than we could ever compete with, but we can compete with our neighbors and changing people's views. We can do that because they're not that many, the people with the money. We outnumber them. You know, so I mean, it all goes back to that shit right there, you know. And it ain't gonna cost money to win this war. I'm telling you, it's not. It's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of love. A lot of love's gonna win this war.
There's a lot of love out there too. You know, I think when I talked to Chuck from CAO Craft Farms one day, I think he had a good approach to it, to be honest with you. You know, he pointed out that we've been, we've been stigmatized by the image of the plant. You know what I mean? People, as when they see a cannabis leaf or whatever, automatically they think of it as a drug or think of it as something bad because that's the way they've been taught over the years.
And let me ask you a question. Do you think the way that it's portrayed in movies and the way that our fellow stoners are portraying this, do you think that helps that stereotype?
Fuck no, that show on Netflix that came out with her, I can't forget her name. I forget her name. She was in the one Misery movie there. But she owned a dispensary in but the portrayal of all the people that work there were like very cliche stoner, and I hated that show. I was like, I don't know anybody that acts like that. You know what I mean?
There you go. But then we embrace them people. Those are the people that they want to get, the fake motherfuckers to go perform at concerts like Mendo Dope Boys. Those motherfuckers rock. They totally are weed heads, right? Now I can't say that about all the other ones that these people try to embrace. I can't really say that. I think a lot of them are in it for the fucking money. And then the money that they've taken from the community, they could have put back in, and none of them are. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so we're embracing these fucking negative stereotypes, and we're letting these people represent us, and that's where the problem is. If we want to change these stereotypes, we need to hold the right people up high. The right people we need to highlight. You ain't gonna put, you ain't gonna put the ugly dog in a fucking dog show. You're gonna put the nice, good one that listens and right and acts right. Right? If you want to win for your kennel, right? Well, we're going to put in a running horse. If we're going to race a horse, we ain't going to put the one with a broken leg in that's going to represent us fucking bullshit. We got to put the right one in. We got to put right people and highlight them people. And that's how we're going to beat this stigma. We can't keep supporting the same old people that aren't really doing shit that we've held up high and took millions of dollars and they ain't done shit for this fucking plant. You know? Really?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, we should be throwing, and we got to beat this negative stereotypes, and we have been stigmatized, and that's what I'm saying. The only way you're going to change that is if you get up in their face and you change it right up in their face. You don't change no opinions, okay, by representing it bad. You're feeding those stereotypes. We're feeding unorganized, can't get shit done stereotype, because look at us. Half our movements are split up. They're fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Really, let's look at this shit, dude. Okay, so how can we be taken serious? Are we giving them a reason to take us serious? Have we honestly, if that's the way we're gonna hold these shows up, highlighting it in a negative way, they're gonna give them all the views because just they talk about weed? No, we want people that talk about weed the right way. We want them representing us the right way. Otherwise, we're not going to support those stupid ass shows. We're not going to support, we're not going to give millions to these fucking artists that aren't going to be fucking trying to change this shit if we really want to win this war. Those are the people we're going to hold up high as the people that are going to actually trying to change this shit, who are tired of seeing people sit in jail for it, who are tired of seeing all these bogus laws attacking us, who are tired of forcing us to pay. Okay? Like we owe anybody anything. In fact, we're owed with how much how many families have they destroyed over the last 100 years? How much property have they taken on over a guise of a plant? Okay, and not even charged you with a crime. How many times does that happen? Millions and millions of dollars. How many families have had fathers, sons, this taken away for this plant? Been treated like animals. Okay, when I was in Wisconsin, dude, do you know that they had me in this fucking ad seg just because I had fucking a co-defendant in there, right? So they had me in a cell for fucking 24 hours a day, okay? And 12 hours of them days, they would take away your mattress and your blanket and have you sitting on a cold ass fucking thing, a cold ass cement bunk, shivering for those 12 hours a fucking day. Okay, if that ain't cruel and unusual punishment, dude. Okay, I'll tell you what, that Wisconsin trip, man, if I was ever going to be filled with hate, that would be the one. That would be the one, because I had already changed my life. I went 20 years without breaking the law. I didn't think I was breaking any law. You know what I mean? I didn't think I should be. I didn't agree with, you know what I mean, with these laws. I didn't vote for them. I didn't get to vote. You know, fuck that. And then they pulled me in there. And then while I'm watching child molesters and rapists get set free, they're cramming me inside a cell, treating me like a fucking animal. And it wasn't, see, I've already been through penitentiaries, you know, that are worse. In Illinois, Cook County Jail. You remember that movie Bad Boys when you were a kid in 1980s with Sean Penn? I was in that place, and that's where I got my GED from. In that, and it's what is it, St. Charles, Illinois. Okay, St. Charles. That's where I was at, baby Joliet, right there, in that same place. That's where I got my GED from. So I had changed my life from there. Okay, you know, and for them that jail didn't bother me. I wasn't feared in Wisconsin, but it broke my mind and my heart being away from my boys. You know what I mean? When you're a father and you didn't grow up with a father and you make a promise and then and then you get taken away from them. You know what I mean? That killed me. It was mental trauma there. But then you see the sickness of how they were letting the people go, the wrong people go. And if you think I'm lying, you know, I mean, dude, just look around and look at what they're going after. Bailey's a perfect example. He gets out 20 years, and that's the thing that he wants to, fight. I mean, that's the mentality of these people. Why is that? Why is that? We're that bad of people that we're worse than rapists and, you know what I mean? And Jawa, come on, man. What's allowing them to do that? Us. We are allowing that because we're not fucking waking up the people around us in the right way. You know, so I'm thinking beautiful gardens, like meditation gardens and stuff like that, to kind of educate people so they see it in a subtle way in their neighborhood where it's not crammed down their face, but where they walk and they see this beautiful garden and they walk in there and they look and it's taken care of by neighborhood stoners. You know what I mean? And it's showing truths. You know, it's canceling these stereotypes while they're sitting there eating their sandwich or feeding the birds. They're reading this plaque. You know, and that shit could be done. That's reasonable shit that can be done. You know, and if I could be a part of that, if anybody wants to pick up all you ballers out there or making millions off this plant, hit us up. I'm sure Eagle would like to be a part of that too. We'll get a whole army together. Let's fucking get this shit done, man. I'm calling out. I'm not a baller, man. I'm broke, man. I just fucking did 2 years of fucking $46,000 worth of medical bills with my just changing bandages, man. I almost died 2.5 years ago. Been fighting for my life ever since. Can't grow like I used to no more. Can't do half of this shit. Can't carry 15 pounds, but I'm still up here talking to get this plant fucking legal. You know what I'm saying? You know, and because of that, I mean, people think it's just a plant, man. This is more than a plant. This is a healing. This is something that is a gift. No other plant on this planet does what this plant does. Okay, and we're being cheated as a humanity from this plant over lies. And the same people that are supposed to be fighting for us are giving these people more control. So what are we going to do about it? Anybody else got a better plan? You know what I mean? I can't hear you, bro.
I wish there was a better plan, to be honest with you. Something needs to be done 100%.
Well, how about you
100%.
humor? How about the world humor me? Let's fucking try this shit. Humor my old ass. Okay, let's try to do one fucking thing, and let's make Michigan. Chicago was the beginning of the local 420. Let's make Michigan, like, property in Detroit is cheap, right? We could find a vacant piece of property someplace where we could build a beautiful fucking garden and a nice give place or fucking meditation garden, or not even in Detroit, Flint. We have plenty of property around there.
You know,
Let's
it would
make
have to,
Michigan.
it may, you know, the sad thing about that is may have to be somewhere like Flint, because at one point, Detroit had a thing where you couldn't have, like, they didn't want urban gardens. They didn't want to see like the
Talking about
projects, you know what
a meditation garden, like where people could go meditate. They could do their yoga there. You have yoga groups go there, a beautiful like Zen place to where you could just go there and have peace and learn and actually learn facts. Like we have the wall, you know, like I said, the area with rocks with people's faces there. We have, you know, like where nothing, where if you throw seeds in there, it's supposed to be, I would think of a symbolic way. You throw seeds in there, nothing will grow there. And it's because we've been choked off by these laws as a humanity to where we cannot flourish. You know what I mean? You have another area for people who have suffered, you know, and all the drug laws and that they put up against us with educating how these plant heals. You know what I mean? And how the laws have been against the healing. You know, like really, really open up people's eyes. You know, and I think that Michigan would be a beautiful place to do it, to start it up, because Michigan really picked up the pieces in the Midwest, you know, as being for the caregivers. It was the freest one, and now they're trying to chop it down. So it's going to take something. Why not come together under something like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, I mean, we got a lot of ballers in this industry here that like to fucking flash their money and you know, and act like they're all that. Well, let something like this shouldn't be that hard to fucking accomplish, you know? And I think that we can do it. You know, I'd volunteer for some of it, you know, of course I would, you know?
Some change needs to happen, that's for sure. I did appreciate his idea when we spoke about it, trying to take away from the image of the plant and try to get people to focus on, the content of the plant, not necessarily the image of the plant,
Yeah,
the
and I
healing.
agree with that. And I agree with that. Because he's healed himself with this plant. So he would be one of the people in the garden that we'd show has healed, you know? When you see a little kid that has 30 seizures of like a week, and then you give them the right oil, okay, and then they don't have the 30 seizures, they don't have a seizure all month long, you know, those are the people that we need to show how this is definitely going to benefit us. And why should it be taxed all heavily when it's just a plant that they have no right to tax? So I'm all for that, but I don't want to embrace and jump in their game and follow their game. I want to find a way to where we can fight the fight without having to jump through their fucking hoops and get our point across. You understand? The easiest way to with the less resistance. And they'd have to be an asshole if they're gonna fight something kindness. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, really, how are you gonna fight? You'd have to be a real fucking asshole to fight that. If something like what you know. Right. And I want to let other people know in the chat. I know there's a chat going on. I don't have it open. I don't know how to open it. I haven't been watching any of the comments or anything. I'll try to figure that out later on, I guess. So if I'm missing any comments or anything, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing them. Okay.
They've said nothing but good things. You can later on when you go back and watch the show, if you want to, the chat will roll and you'll be able to read all the comments, on the replay if you're interested. But they're following along and definitely supporting what you're saying. 100%. And one thing that they have suggested and asked several times, when Angel has asked me to please ask, is about spitting a rhyme. Would you want to spit a rhyme for us?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be one of the two that you've already heard at the event. Okay, I've been kind of sick. I was making it a point that when I come back from Las Vegas, I was going to work on the I Want to Be Free run, but I've been really sick. I mean, really, I don't think you guys, I haven't talked to nobody for the last 3 days. Okay. And the last 2 weeks since I got back from Vegas, I have had no energy. I've been wiped out. I've been in the shower 3-4 times a day, coughing. I think somebody cast an evil spell on me or poisoned me up there. I don't know, because I've never been this sick. I've been taking Calytics over everything. Still got my smell and everything, so it's not the CEO thing, but I mean, it's really hit me hard this time. So I haven't had a time to focus on one of my other ones I really wanted that I think would fit in with this post, but I haven't really got able to do it. So I'm going to spit one of my other ones. I'll probably spit It's Just Pee, or the one that was sent that they played at my sentencing right before they sentenced me. I'll do that. That one for you. And then with the agreement that I will come on another show for you, Eagle. Okay. And we'll talk more. And then I will spit the other rhyme for you with my word on it for you and your guys. That might be.
That'd be awesome.
If you will have me.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Now, I've been trying to be a little bit political correct here, okay, with not calling people out by name and stuff like that. I've been purposely trying to do that because, and against other people's opinion, I'm sure, probably we need to drop some fucking names, but I know that the people who I'm talking about, if they see this, they'll know who they are. Okay. In my conversation of the selfish acts and the way that they were acting and the way that they act and the way that they do things, they're going to be able to relate. And I'm a firm believer of giving people a chance to correct it themselves before throwing them up on Front Street. Okay. But I got, like I said, I got a little inkling of how people represent themselves in this community. Okay. Because it's different than Chicago. I came from Chicago where everybody knows me to a place where not a lot of people know me. So I got to see the outside where I'm always seeing the inside. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere else. So I got to stand on the outside and look in and watch how these people maneuver and how they act and shit and what they do, and how it isn't for this plant. Okay. And I hope that they would change it because we need every warrior we can to fight this fight, except for the people who are predators. We don't need that kind of people surrounding us. Okay. For obvious reasons. Okay. I mean, and like I said, so do they want to rhyme now?
Whenever you're ready, my friend. Whenever you're, like I've told you in the beginning of this, uh you're pretty much in control, you know what I mean? I just try to kind of keep things going myself. And as far as, throwing people under the bus, I hate, I've always took the stance on that, is as long as it's not taking direct shots against, hurting somebody, you know it's your
Oh, it's
opinion,
going to hurt
you
feelings.
know
It will
you
hurt
know what
feelings.
I mean?
I'm trying
I
not to hurt feelings. I'm trying to win people over and trying to make people understand that we're brothers and sisters in this war.
There you
Okay.
go.
And that we are brothers and sisters and that we need to love each other and we need to fucking hold the people right up. And you need to acknowledge when you're wrong. Okay. I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay. Nobody's perfect. Okay. So it ain't trying to disclude people. We need every warrior in this fight. Okay. Every warrior needs to be
Yeah.
on this bus and we all need to be flying under the same flag. Now, the snakes, they're going to snake their way right out. They're going to show themselves. Okay. Do I let but where it comes a point where I'm going to give it a little bit more time and maybe on my next show, I might drop some dirt. Okay. Yeah. People, they change. Okay. But I'm a firm believer these people need to fucking step up and put up their own bootstraps and fucking check themselves. And they ain't better than anybody else in this movement. I'm not better than any one of you guys, okay, or gals out there. I am just a fellow stoner who has an idea and has a passion to get this plant legal. I know the benefits of it. I love what this herb has done for me, okay, and I love what it's done for other people that I've seen heal from it, okay. I do not think it's a demon, and I don't think it's nothing we should be ashamed of. So that's what I'm trying to get the point to help us change the shit like that. Right? I won't want to fucking, I'm trying, but if you don't give me no choice, I'm going to call your motherfucker ass out. Okay. I'm serious. Okay. So you people out there that are fucking running game in this industry and are fucking people over and fucking turning around and hurting this plant and acting like you're better, you're not. Okay. You're not better than any one of us. Okay. I don't care how much smoke was blown up your fucking ass. Okay. You're not. I'm not better than any single one of you people. Okay. I love you all. Okay. I want to see you all free, just like I want to see myself free. We're not free right now. We're not. They're making up shit every fucking day for us. Okay. They got bills upon bills trying to attack us while the whole world's falling apart. They're still coming after us. Okay. So that tells you, man, that they don't want it for what reason? Because when I got out, I threw a 420 party, right? I had Hasidic Jews sitting there smoking with Muslims. They don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want us to come together. So we need to do what they don't want us to do. Okay, come together and beat this shit because they know once we come together, nothing's going to stop this. Once you do it. But anyways, here. So it's an oldie. It's one of my first ones. Okay. But I'm going to spit it for you guys anyways, because I think it's really important that we understand that we ain't free. Okay. So here you go. Welcome to the US, the land of the free, where you're free to do what you're told and your freedoms are bought and sold, where our forefathers died with a musket so we could have rights, but our government just said, fuck it. Who made these laws? I didn't get the vote. They were made for my dad and my mama poke. You say I'm free? Hell no, me. Am I free to smoke a blunt sitting on my trunk? No, I'm free to pay taxes and kiss big fat government asses. Step off a line, here's a big fat fine, says I hope mankind, but we're trillions in debt. And I'm still not free to smoke a joint on my front step. Have the right to a trial, though, sitting in fancy chairs, judging me with even glares. Not one bloodshot stare who understands my plight and for what I fight, to be an individual and be judged for my actions and not for what in my bowl gets packed in. I had the right to be represented by an overworked, underpaid PD because I took all my motherfucking money for smoking a tree. Yeah, how the fuck can you say I'm free? That's one. I kind of fucked up on that one. It's been a minute. I've been kind of sick, but yeah.
Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Thank you for spitting that for us.
Who knows? I might get frisky and spit another one later on. Like I said, I'm surprised I went this far, man, because I'll tell you what, I've been like really not doing too good and not getting good sleep. I've been waking up coughing and shit and stuff, and I'm surprised I haven't been hacking my brains out with the cigarette. Maybe a dab might help me out.
So do you think one of the reasons why we haven't been able to just push it across is they're using some of their tactics against us? You know, one of the reasons why we can't stand together now, what's one of the things we've talked about? You know what I mean? Recreational versus medical cannabis. We're already butting heads. You know what I mean? They're using the plant for us to fight against each other. You know what I mean? They're using their system to make us enemies with each other.
And the whole bottom line is it doesn't matter whether it's recreational or not. We have the freedom to use every plant that God gave us. It's not their plant. Okay, all this bullshit about fucking driving and shit. People been driving on this shit since there's been cars, dude. There's no proof that it causes car accidents like that. Okay. But yet they let alcohol. I'll tell you what, man, I could tell you every minute time that my buddies went out on a Friday night, paycheck. Okay, Saturday they have some story, their car smashed up. They wake up with somebody they didn't want to wake up with. Okay, there's all kinds of shit, but that shit's embraced. There's a bar in every corner. Okay, you know, see, and when people ask me, what have you done to change? Okay, well, when I was inside there, they put me, I got out a little bit earlier out of that Wisconsin gig because they put me in this group. It was a drug treatment program. And it was, they started with 10 people and you get moved to the special fucking dorm, like a special part of the jail, right? Where only drug treatment people are in there. And you do and you do this program for 6 months of intense drug treatment. You have to spend 8 hours a day inside there, do these programs and shit, all this stuff. You sit with a counselor and they talk and you have groups and stuff and you learn about addiction, right? And so that was how I got out early, which somehow my lawyer convinced the judge I would never get because of my beliefs. And while I was in there, he was kind of right because it was a program where if you speak highly of your thing, your addiction, they'll kick you out of there because they're going to release you within 30 days of completing this program. So any remainder amount of your time goes to your parole. So they're pretty hard on you, right? So there were guys at this point that started with 10 and there was down to 6. And it became a point where they were kicked out because they were talking positive about their stuff. Well, every time that they said something false about marijuana, I was correcting the drug counselor, okay, to the point where, okay, 6 people are now remaining, including me, and now they're getting pissed that I'm not getting kicked out. So they went and they were going above this guy's head, to Miss Edinger, who was running the show, okay, and this guy started just in one group. I was the first group, but he quit after my group. It was kind of weird, like he came there from Walworth County to get me out, but anyways. So he was put there, perfect timing. So anyways, I'm sitting inside his group and he pulls me out and he goes, Mike, he goes, I agree with you. This plant should be at every corner, just like liquor is. Okay. But you aren't in here for smoking it. You're not in here for possession. You're in here for growing it. Okay. You had a parted grower and you may, and so sometimes making bad decisions can be addictive too. So let's focus on the decisions that you made to put yourself in that situation You knew it was illegal. You knew this. And let me get you home to your family because you really don't belong in here. Okay. So I literally changed that counselor's point of view on me and on this plan. Okay. Literally, he's a drug counselor and he's there to tell people. And this is what he said, okay, to me. So you never know what your actions are going to mean to somebody. You never know how somebody's going to take that. So that's where the key comes into how we act. It can't just be when we know we're being watched. We got to walk the walk and talk the talk. So even when we're not being watched, we got to think about how we're representing. That's giving them the avenue to put the separation between medical and recreational, because then they're going to put everybody that's acted a fool on it is recreational. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody that's sick, you have to be dying or tell them. Like, you ever see that South Park episode where they fucking Kentucky Fried Weed, where they all go and they fucking all get testicular cancer or whatever the fuck you call it, where they're bouncing around on their nut sacks? If not, I encourage you to watch that, man. That's a fucking hilarious episode. But it's true. People are going to be lying and saying that they're this and that. And that's not helping the cause. We just need to get it blanket. There should be no fucking laws on it. It should be like tomatoes. Okay. And if you want to grow them, if you want to sell them, you could sell it. And that's the bottom line. Okay. If you want to put it in the system and get top dollar for it because you tested it and it's all that, then you should be able to do that. You should have the right to do that. And it shouldn't be all these hoops that they're making you jump through that are unreasonable, that are pushing these costs up high. You understand? That's what's going on here. That's what's causing the separation, because these big corporates are charged millions of dollars to be able to do this in a recreational setting, and they want to get their money back. So they've made it about money. And that's whenever it's only about money, that's when it's fucking over the people. We've seen it in anything. Anything that they have, when you put money involved, they want the things to make a profit then. It's not to help the people. So when we start getting the frame of thinking that, hey, everybody should be free. It doesn't matter whether you're a recreational or a patient. The patients need it. Again, no, but just because you're a recreational user doesn't mean that you're not using it as medicine. You're medicating yourself with this plant. You're getting benefits out of it that we are all supposed to have. Like Angel would like to say, we got an equal cannabinoid system, which is true. We do. Okay. And would it be put in our system if it wasn't supposed to be here? Would we have those receptors if it wasn't supposed to be on this planet? Too many of them, we let them control every little thing. When are we going to stop doing that? And how are we going to stop them from doing it? So like I said, we could change them negative stereotypes. We could change the sigmas, but how are we going to do that? That's where we need to come up with a goal and plans. So like what I'm trying to say to you is let's make some goals, Eagle. Let's see if these people that in this chat, let's help us make some goals to fucking do some fucking good things and achieve them goals and start winning on how we're going to change this shit. Now, it doesn't have to be tonight, but as long as this keeps in our forefront of what kind of things we're going to do to try to make actions for this plant to benefit for everybody and really move forward in them, in a positive way, we're going to keep just talking about it. Okay. And I want to be about being about it. I've been talking about it now for years. Let's make it happen. Let's do something to fucking drastically change this fucking thing of how they're looking at us and their control. Let's get rid of their control. I'm tired of seeing my friends go to jail for it. Don't think people still aren't going to jail. Don't think people still aren't losing their jobs. Don't think people aren't still suffering from these fucking negative effects of these drug law right now. Okay? Don't think they are. They are. You just might not see it. It ain't out in everybody's face like it was. But they're making plans They're making plans. They're coming out with swabs. They're coming out with this. They're coming out with that. Now they got something. If you spit in it, you could, they're looking at retinas now. They're coming out with all this, things to help harness us. And either we can fight it or we can sit there and accept it. And too many of us stoners want to just accept this shit, and that's where it's fucked up. They think they want to work with these people who are not trustworthy. Like I told you, okay, that's like asking Uncle Sam, who's been raping raping your family, put Aunt Betty in a nursing home, and all this stuff, and then give him the fucking key to the will. You know what I mean? To dish it out. That's what we're doing right now. Okay, if you look at our government as being as a bad Uncle Sam with a bad habit, he has a bad gambling habit or something, because he's spending this money like it's nothing, and we ain't getting it. So why are we trusting them? It ain't benefiting us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's crazy. What's that?
The system is definitely messed up for sure, and it's long overdue for some type of change. I think it. I mean, didn't we realistically screw ourselves over? And I guess we're heading down a crazy road when the government gave up our power to print money. We gave up our best intentions.
Yeah, but we're letting them play us. We're letting them play us. We're letting them play us like fools. Okay. Like, look at Biden up there. Goes on and says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to decriminalize on a federal level and then release all these." Man, he didn't release nobody with that last shit he just did. Okay, but all the stoners jumped up and was like, "Yeah, Biden, vote that," and they're voting for people who don't give a fuck about him, who hasn't done nothing for them, who's only profited off of this shit. And then the people that are actually trying to do something, they get held down because they get blackballed by their community. They don't even get a chance out the gate. Why is that? Why are we allowing that? Why are we fighting against our own interests? That's the problem that we need to fix right now. To realize that we're fighting against our own interests when we embrace these things that aren't real. We can't be giving these guys credit, okay, for shit that they haven't done. But too many people are like happy to do it, okay? And that's the sad thing right now. They didn't get that bill passed in Michigan. The people did with their signatures, but then they went and changed it at 3:00 in the morning, right? Is that what I heard? Am I wrong with that? Okay. So how can, but did we hold them accountable? Did we as stoners hold them accountable for that?
No, we were too busy celebrating.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the war ain't won until everybody's free, right? Like the Marines, don't leave one soldier left behind, right? So we need to fix this fucking shit. It's up to us, because they ain't going to do the right thing. Nobody's going to fight for you like you're going to fight for you. Okay? We got dogs in this fight. Anybody that's a POW who sat in jail for this plant knows how serious this shit is. I have multiple times denied educations. Okay? How many of our youth have we condemned to being fools, who were probably straight A students, but because they chose to smoke this plant or use this plant for whatever reason, they got denied an education? Think about that. That's something dirty right there. How come we're second-class citizens? How come everybody's okay with that? How come everybody's okay when they say, "Oh, you can't have a medical card in this and have a gun card"? That to me would have drove me. I can't understand that. That's a lot of people are choosing not to get their medical card because of that. Which I think that medical card is a joke. The way that they've turned it into right now. Okay, what they've done with it has turned it into a joke. Okay, they fucked it over. They're fucking over the people with it. They're turning around and they're not putting that money back into helping you. They're putting the money that they take from that in laws against us to fund Baileys of the fucking world. You know, I'm sorry to get on his case, man, but dude, he's a piece of shit, dude, as far as I'm concerned, man. Anybody that dedicates their whole life to law enforcement decides to get out, and that's what they turn to target instead of all the other shit that they can focus on. He focuses on fucking that. Come on, man. If that ain't a dirtbag piece of shit, I don't know what is.
I gotta agree. There's so many better things they could be spending their time and energy in.
Yeah, like how about what is it, 50,000, 40, 500,000 rape kits? I don't know how many. I know it's thousands, and that's too many. You know what I mean? You know, that's too many. I don't know, man. If you look at what that does to people and how it changes their lives, okay, and how it affects them for years and years and years, that should be number one priority to get them fucking dirtbags off the street that would do some shit like that. That's what the whole legal system was there for, right? To get them evil criminal people off, right? There is jails for a reason. We do need jails. Let's be real. There are fucking sick motherfuckers out there that deserve to be fucking in jail. Let's fill them up with the right people instead of letting them go because we're overcrowded with the fucking petty ass shit.
Great point too. Then we could actually give the power of the penal system back to the states instead of privatizing it and making it a separate business, which encourages bringing more in.
Oh yeah, and then when you're in there, oh yeah, then you got companies that are owned like by people, Bob Barker and shit, who fucking selling you $1.25 ramen noodles, $40 for a 15-minute phone call for the longest time. You know what I mean? They just profit off you and your family. You know, aren't we getting tired of getting attacked and having our families having to pick up the bill because they love us? You know, while you're sitting in there, that's who's picking up the slack. You know? So how many families do you think have kids that have been in this drug war and been fucking felt helpless? You know?
Quite a few.
You know, it's sickening. And people are just like, oh, yeah, it's okay. We have to, yeah, that's the way it is, man. You know, money, yeah, like it's the right thing, dude. Come on, man. You know, we don't have to play their game. We can stand up. They can't arrest us all at one time. If everybody on one day went up there and stood the fuck up and said, fine, fuck you, arrest us. Let's get this shit over with. You know what I mean? We're free today. You know, what is that reason how come it ain't done? Not because the potheads are so peaceful and so nice that we aren't going to be like prohibition and go shoot up our towns and go fucking take it. Because that's what it seems like. That's why prohibition lasted with alcohol, was because they couldn't win. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm trying not to do it. Instead of shooting bullets, let's shoot kindness. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. It's the only way to make the biggest impact. That's for sure.
And we can do it. We just got to get off our shoulders, the chips off our shoulders, and realize that we all need to jump together. That's what I don't think we have yet. See, once we all join under one flag, then we're a dangerous motherfuckers. Okay? Once we move with one hand, like boom, and grab it and take it, they can't stop it. You know?
And if we could just get to that point, we should be a pretty strong force. I mean, the walks of life, that support that make up the Canada community. You know what I mean? Like as you kind of pointed out, our doctors, lawyers, mechanics, every phase of walks of the life. You know what I mean? It should be easy to assemble a good team. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, man, too often we got, like person spills a cup of coffee on them. gets $30 million. You know what I mean? But then somebody that really suffering a grave injustice can't even find a fucking lawyer to represent them or a court to hear them. Okay? It's a good old buddy system. And fine, if the lawyers can't do it on their own, then they need to fucking tell us what we need to do to fucking actually win this shit, to help support them so they can get the cases heard, so we can get this shit and get it done, if that's the way we're going to battle. But I don't see these organizations now fighting to get total freedom. I see them fighting to become part of a system that's a fixed deck system that isn't really out there to make us free, but to control us and to control it and profit off. You understand what I'm saying? So they're trying to get us to join in because they feel like they have to take what we're given. Like we have to settle. They have to be a part of it. They have to. Otherwise, this ain't going to work. The government has to have some finger in it. And I say, no, they don't. You know, no, they don't have to have a finger in it. They don't deserve a finger in it. They've lied to us. They profited off of fucking lies. Okay? They're still profiting. They got it misclassified at a federal level so the FDA, they could suck my dick. Okay? Fuck this FDA. Okay? You need more research. What good was research? You got fentanyl. You researched that. How many millions of Americans are dying off of that? Huh? Vioxx, you researched that. Vioxx is still fucking, they killed people, but you researched it, right? You approved it. So then we need to start holding them accountable then, right? If they're going to be the god of it all, then shouldn't they be held accountable when something goes wrong? You told me it was okay. You told me it was okay. I'm supposed to trust you. Now we got millions of Americans dying of fentanyl. Okay. They did the research. What good did the research do?
Where was the research when there should have been research when they fucking made it illegal?
Yeah, no, they held back any research that could be done. It was easier to research cocaine and heroin than it was to research weed for years. It still is.
For thousands of years prior, the research had been done with cannabis. You know, they had been using it in oils and tinctures and all kinds of forms. You know what I mean? We had made our side. They should have had to show a whole fucking truckload of cases that cannabis was killing people and all that when they made it illegal. They didn't have
the same thing that they're doing now, propaganda and pushing an agenda and telling everybody and everybody being the good little sheep and going, yeah, it's scary. Oh, yeah, it's bad. And accepting this bullshit. And then we have the same people that are supposed to be fighting for it, feeding these negative bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Feeding this bullshit. Acting fools, mixing it with other shit, and they're supposed to be representing us as stoners, but they're fucking getting drunk and acting a fucking fool. So now what the average guy is going to be able to see that distinguish between pot and the booze at that point. You know, if you're a next door neighbor and you're dealing with, you're going to smell the weed, right? And you're going to associate all the bullshit that's going on next door with the weed, not with the alcohol, not with the other shit. And we're allowing that shit to happen. We're making movies that make it funny to be a dope. You know what I mean? Showing all of us as fucking idiots. And we're supporting these movies. You know what I mean? We're supporting these TV programs that are making us look like asses and feeding the stereotypes. And that's how they're keeping us separate. That's how they're keeping us separate. You know, and like I said, I'm really disappointed with a lot of these people that know that we shouldn't be trusting this government, but turn around and fucking try to shame people and act like they haven't done us wrong since 1937. You know what I mean? And act like they forget about all the bullshit that previous generations to even get us to this point suffered. You know, the old soldiers, you know, before it was cool. You know, when they could use your rhymes against you to put you in prison. You know what I mean? Those people. We don't hold them people up high, but let a guy do a fucking 1 gram dab and he'll get fucking 10,000 likes. You know what I mean? That shit fucking irks me. And then we're supposed to be taken serious, right?
I agree. It's a fucked up side of things. You know, we glamorize the wrong bullshit these days.
Well, I'm giving the people an answer. Go out there, watch, let there be. See if these fucking news organizations don't start covering this shit when people start doing beautiful shit, not only across the country, across the world. Okay? Because we will set a fucking spark and set a fire going across the fucking world of people doing awesome shit in the name of weed. Hey, I'm a stoner. I belong on this planet too, and it's not behind bars. I'm a good person. I love my community. You know what I mean? I love my fellow man. I'm not out there fucking hoodlumming it up to get my bag of weed. Okay, I want to work. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of society and part of this world in a positive way. That's what the message that we should be trying to put off right now. If we really want to win this one. If we don't want to win it and we want the control, then we're going to keep jumping down the same games that we're doing. We're going to be portrayed as dopes. We're going to be, you know, being used in these little fucking political scams where the guy goes, oh, I'm going to decriminalize, and everybody jumps on his bandwagon because he made a fucking, he made something that was unsubstantial. You do it and it doesn't have no effect. But then he's going to be praised like he did something positive for us. You know, we got to quit being dopes if we want to not be treated like a dope. You know what I mean? We're not victims. Okay? These are tyrant laws that they made against us. Okay? We are part of a bogus ass war. Let's quit being victims. Let's take back the power through love and kindness. That's how we're going to take it back. All this other bullshit is insubstantial, man. All we could sit here and argue every fucking day and keep involved in this government. And the only thing it's going to do is turn it from one thing to another. So now they aren't busting us for the ounce of weed. Now they're going to bust us for fucking the eye retina exam or the fucking probe in your mouth, right? You know? And why ain't it federally legal? That should be the next battle that we should be focused on. Fuck all these little fucking, all the states. We need to win the fucking federal one. Get it decriminalized. Totally off the books. Until we do that, these little states are all vulnerable. Everybody inside each one of these states could still get a Fed coming there and busting you.
Well, I'm telling you right now, if it doesn't get decriminalized, or at least they fucking at least recognize medical cannabis, and they push fucking recreational cannabis first, they'll tell you right there that it's a fucking joke. I mean, by pushing recreational cannabis, they're already admitting that it's harmless. Or you know what I mean? They're not admitting it has medical value, but they're basically saying it won't kill you, so we're going to make it legal, in my opinion.
But what else it's doing, okay, is it's making it, okay, a lot of these states that I go to where they have the medical program and they have the recreational program, the recreational program is taxed higher, right? And you have a bigger market for the recreational, right? So the good meds, so to say, are usually wind up in the recreational end because you get more money for it there, right? So are the patients really getting the consistent meds that they're supposed to be getting? That's where you got the caregivers that came in. That's where the Michigan's program was so great, because you had people who actually, it was small craft. It's not a big business. Once you take the love out of growing this plant and the personalization of it, okay, then you're sacrificing on the meds. Okay, you're sacrificing on the potential that it meds. You're cutting corners for profit. Okay, so who winds up with that? Who winds up with the less meds? The people that are medical patients, because they make more money in the recreational end with the higher end shit. You know what I'm saying? So that whole separation, we need to squash that. Fuck it. It needs to be across the board. Okay. And everybody, see, if you have it where everybody can, then you wouldn't need the medical aspect of it, right? If it was free to grow and it was free to produce, you wouldn't need to get you wouldn't need to go get a medical card so then they can hold it against you. You know what I'm saying? How can it be medical and then you fucking go and have a baby and you have it inside your system and they want to take your baby? Is it really medical then? If they could do that, what do you mean? I got a prescription from my doctor. Okay. Not me, because, I know some people can't understand, but I'm a guy with a beard and a swinger. I can't have a baby. But if my significant other had a baby and she chose to do this and she had a prescription for it, how come they could take the kid away for the weed being inside the system, but not for the Norco or the codeine or the other stuff that's in the system? They'd rather have the baby come out addicted to something that they have to wean off rather than have them on this plant that they got a prescription for. So even in the medical game, we're not getting the fair shake of the deal. You know what I'm saying? Are we? I mean, am I wrong, Eagle? Or am I wrong in any one of these statements about that? Are we getting a fair shake in the medical? We did things the right way. We challenged it. We got it voted on.
No, you're not wrong. But the only thing that I'm in my fight is that's the only fucking dog we've got in the fight. You know what I mean?
No, we got a dog in the fight that says, hey man, you don't have no right to this shit. Show me where you have the right to this natural plant that has nothing to do with you making. What right do you have for that? I'm surprised people haven't challenged it on the fucking, because when in the Bible it says every seed bearing fruit. So if there's supposed to be a separation between church and state, right? How come there hasn't been a challenge on that? Listen, it says it in the Bible.
I like that challenge. That's a good one. Huh? I said I like that. That's well worded. It is a fruit, seed bearing fruit.
Okay, and my God gave it to me. Okay, how come that could never be heard in court? So these things are things that we're that keeps us fighting, because then you got the medical or separate. Already they're separating us in the recreational medical right there. The system is designed to separate us. And we got half-ass medical of it. Because if we don't have the same rights as everybody else that takes a pill and does that, as that prescription carries its weight, then are we truly protected then?
And as far as the example of the mother, that hit home with me this last year. That hit me directly. My oldest daughter was pregnant and uses cannabis for her anxiety, and was because of all the above, being afraid of cannabis being in her system at the time of birth, and worried about CPS being a problem from had to make that choice of whether or not to give up her medicine or be without medicine, to still continue to use cannabis or use a pharmaceutical replacement, which she never wanted to use anyway. And in the end, she did. I encouraged her to stay with the cannabis, to be honest with you. I was perfectly okay with that. But I'm not the one in the end that has to fight the system. If something, if there was to be a problem, that would be, I could
And nor
help,
do
but
you have, and nor do you have the money to fight the system. They got fucking people. They're using their own money, our own tax dollars to fight against us, to hold us down. That card money isn't going to help patients in any way. Is that card money that what was that, or what, who takes the money? What's it called? Lara?
yeah, license
Okay, that
agency.
ain't helping us. That ain't helping any fucking patient. You tell me what they've done with that money that's actually helped the patient. Not, are they fighting for that mother's rights? Are they willing to send lawyers there to fight for that mother's rights to use this plant that her doctor prescribed us? No. So that's where my problem is with the medical end of it.
So
Okay.
Okay, with that statement, I do have a slight problem with, because that same licensing agency handles licensing for like everything. Okay. So I think that our tax dollars money that was made off of cannabis, that should kind of, go to the betterment. But like, say that little bit of money you pay for the licensing, that kind of money stays into, usually should stay into, something to deal with the safety of, that field, that craft. You know what I mean? I go get a carpentry license, same thing through Lara, and
But
they're
you want to
putting
know what the
money in.
carpentry license is? My buddy went over there to go take an HVAC license. He's fucking totally qualified. He didn't even look at the book. And the only questions he got wrong were the ones that
Financial ones,
were the
probably.
nonsense bullshit ones that had nothing to do with the trade. That he had to buy the Lara book to pass the test, to get those information, these stupid dates and shit. So it's all fucking a big scam.
Oh,
Okay. And once we realize it's a fucking scam and it has nothing to do with protecting us, okay, then the battle's halfway there. Okay. Because we got to realize that, dude, it's not for us. This is an attack on us to hold us down. First, it's like having an addiction. You got to realize you have a problem, right? Well, we're addicted to being told what to do, obviously, because we're accepting this shit every angle of the fucking way. Okay. And we're happy to be like, okay, well, thanks for the little crumb you gave us,
buddy.
Well, I mean, it's true, though. I mean, it's sad that this is what it is. And it's in every aspect of our life. It isn't just weed, it's everything. You own a house. People think they own a house. They don't own a house in this country. You miss 2 years of taxes, watch how fast they snatch that motherfucker away from you. You think you own your car. You don't own your car. Park that motherfucker in the wrong place. See how fast they snatch that motherfucker or charge you a ransom. Don't pay your fucking license plate thing and see how fast they come and get you. When we've already paid for licenses for the road, we paid taxes to buy it. I mean, it's all designed to hold us down. But what my thing is if we jump together on this one bandwagon, we'd get the right-minded people in there to change the other shit. Because if they realize that this plant and they're going to willing to vote for this plant to be legal, then they realize that other stuff needs to be legal and right too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how come I feel this plant is so important. And obviously they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put a big war against it like they have. The fact that they're fighting against it like this should raise our ears and the hair on our back of our neck. Why? You know what I'm saying? So I'm surprised I haven't been hacking my brains out, guys. I've been fucking, I guess the colloidal silver and all the fucking souls that I've been taking, this stuff stop me from coughing my brains out. This shit's been helping me out. And this. What am I missing, guys? I can't hear you, Eagle.
That's why I said the power of the message has got y'all cleared up, got opened up.
Yeah, well, the 2 showers today, coughing everything out beforehand. You know, because you know what, man. You know, I talked to Angel before I got, and she goes, "Yeah, maybe you might be amped up a little bit." And yeah, I am amped up talking about this. You know, this is something I'm passionate about, man. You know,
I
I
appreciate it.
made this kind of like my life mission. You know, to try to see this stuff get legal, man. You know, but I'm held down too. You know, like so I'm not no better than you guys, man. I'm held down just by the same restrictions as everybody. I'm not rich. I'm not fucking out here making millions off this plant. Okay. And dude, it makes me sick to see other people doing it, like these big corporations who bought their way into it were the same corporations that fought to keep it illegal.
And I agree with you on so many points. I think maybe at some points, my take on the medical side of cannabis is strictly, personal, I guess, because I understand the medical benefits of the plant. I've lost so many people from pharmaceutical drugs and shit like that, that cannabis, if it would have been legal, or accessible or right for them to use back then, may have still been with us, either from, abuse from pharmaceutical drugs, alcohol. If cannabis could have been legal and acceptable, even in rehab, we talked about that. I was talking about that with a guest the other night. You get shunned from rehab for talking the positive benefits of cannabis. You know what I mean? And it
That's what they were
should be
doing
a
to me.
fucking part of the regimen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all in a system to feed the lies. So they withhold the truth by holding you penalized for it. And I would agree with you on the medical side of it, okay, that it does give a certain access to certain people who wouldn't. But what my thing is there's harnesses with it, and it's not actually totally helping and totally equal with the other part of medical. And it's a way for them to keep us separate.
And I agree, I appreciate that 100%. It takes conversations with other people to give you another perspective and make you
I mean,
kind of step
like
outside your box, and you know
I
what I
went and
mean?
got I went and got my medical card, Eagle, and then I was told I couldn't be a caregiver because I had a felony. You know what I mean? So here I move all the way over here, but I'm a second. And now when you look at how they treat the with pregnant mothers, anybody else with a medical card, like if you can't have the certain restrictions that they're putting on you, okay, that medical card is used as a weapon against you. Okay, it seriously is. Okay, as much as it's used to help you, it's used to harness you too. Okay, and that's the sad part. And as long as we have medical and recreational, then we have people with dual. You got the people that want to heal and the people that want to make money. They're never going to come together if that wedge is in between. It all has to be for the healing. It all has to be for plain, everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. And there's room for the big corporations because people are going to want the Maui Burrows and the Skunk Lake 100. And then you're going to want the people, then you're going to want to have the people that want the IPAs, right? Who want the best. It's a free market. That's what this whole country was built on. Free market, right? But you're trying to X out millions of people. I can't hear you.
It's a funny thing that you bring that up, because if you look at it historically, the free market did build this country. But if you look at it, historically, you look at the Rockefellers and all them, the really titans of industry that put this thing together, they fucking worked hard at squeezing out the little guy. As soon as they got him, you know what I mean, a niche above, they focused on squashing the fucking competition.
And
Little
that's what
guys
they
out.
did. And that's what they're doing with this weed.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing with
exactly.
this plant. Okay, because they know with this plant, no other plant can do what this plant does. This plant can fuel us, clothe us, feed us, heal us. No other plant could do that.
That's the part, and that's you're right.
And it's a weed.
That's the part that pisses me off, and I'm right there with you. That gets
So
me
how much?
fired up. Is
So
there? This plant has so many fucking things it can do. You know what I mean? Medically, as you're pointing out, industrial. But where are we focusing at already? Right off the bat, you know what I mean? The fucking the rec side.
the
You know
thing
what
that's
I
putting
mean?
us in jail, the thing that's taking
The
away our
most
freedom,
money. Yeah, the
the thing
most
that's
money they
taking
can
away
get
our
out of
freedom.
it. It isn't the industry, the things they can make money out of and shit. It's no. Let's get them all high. And that's what we can make the most money off of right off the bat. And in my opinion, it's a nasty beast. It always leads back to that, the money. Chief, follow the money. Follow the
Yep.
money.
Yep. Well, we got to figure out a way to take the money out, and we're broke motherfuckers. So how can we fucking fight this war being broke? The only thing we can do is do kind shit
And
for
do
our
that.
neighbors to document that shit. You know what I mean? And fucking start a movement of people doing beautiful shit in their neighborhoods and helping change this shit. So then that way, when the next senator that's really trying to win this war on getting freedom, then he has ammo to pull forward and bring and show. You know what I mean? Instead of some stupid movie about fucking how we're all idiots being propagandized. Except for 1,000 videos of people doing 1 gram dabs, that's what's getting highlighted. All these idiots doing stupid. I mean, yeah, there's a point, but dude, come on, okay? That we're holding the wrong shit up high. Okay. And that's the bottom line. I didn't mean to call anybody an idiot because I really don't think that you're an idiot if you did a white grab that. But I'm saying that that's the shit that we're holding up high. And that's wrong. Okay. That's totally wrong. Okay. We need to start holding the right people, the people that are actually doing good, hold them up high.
I
What am
agree.
I missing over there in the chat?
Oh, it's these dogs behind me is what I'm laughing at because I
Oh,
could see them popping up right in the space behind me, and it's
yeah. I don't know
awesome.
where my little Stitch has been. He's running around the house someplace.
Holy shit! I just seen him leap up to about here. Uh, so you're 100% right. In a lot of ways, and I here's a little something that you may not know is I'm already in your army, my friend. As far as the do nice things, I end every episode, and I'm a firm believer in this. I wouldn't do it night after night, say it as many times as I said it, but every video I have, I end with please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness save lives.
And that's all great, but we need a place to highlight these. Okay,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. So, like, listen, if it's almost like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, you know what I mean? Like, they make a sound, or like, come on, man. We need the fucking. This is if we're gonna use this as a thing to change our communities, we need to document this. There needs to be
man,
documentation of it, and one place where people could go and find these things, so then they could spend a fucking, you eventually it will be you could spend a month looking at videos of people doing awesome shit. That's how I picture it, man, of all across, because I know in my heart, I've been all around the world and I've smoked with every kind of stoner you could think. Okay. Everywhere I go, I smoke. I know that the potheads of this world are the most beautiful, kindest, gentle, loving, creative, artistic people out there. Okay. And if we started doing good, awesome shit and highlighting it in each of our special ways that we all have, You know your neighborhood. You know what you need. You know what you can give. It's not for me to tell you what deed to do. It's not for me to try to dictate that. But you have it in your heart what you're willing to offer to help change this thing.
So
Okay.
Uncle Mike,
And you highlight it. And that's
first
what
things first, we live in a fucking social media fucking frenzy world. You know, it's easy. We could start the place now. I mean, basically all we have to do is put together that hashtag, you know, the 420 random acts of kindness, whatever you want to call it. But you know what I mean? You get people hashtagging that and then following it,
deeds
and
for
it
weed.
builds itself. You know what
Deeds
I
for
mean?
weed. Deeds for weed.
Deeds for weed. There you go.
You know, that's what I think. Deeds, the number 4, weed. It's simple. It's fucking easy. Okay. And who cares if somebody owns that website? Fuck them, because you got people out there buying all kinds of shit, trying to hamper everybody else, trying to make money, charge you for domains and shit. The hashtag means enough. And then people will know where it came from. You know? You know what I'm saying? Or you, like I said, if you guys got a better one, come up with it. I'm not the master of this shit. I came up with the idea. I'm pushing it. I love it. But man, dude, we're all part of this family. And if you guys can make it work, I'm happy to see it work. See, that's the true deal right there. I don't need acclamations. Okay. I'm just seeing the results of freedom for my fellow mankind is enough welcoming to me. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Seeing somebody not get slammed in a fucking cell for 12 hours and treated like a dog, have his mattress, have his blanket, have his pillow taken away in a cold Wisconsin cell on a fucking slab of cement, okay, shivering all day. That is enough for me to see that stop. To see that weapon being taken away, to be them to be able to take and condemn somebody and pull them in and treat them like an animal, to get that excuse out of the way, that would be enough for me, man. Okay, because I was that animal in that cell, and nobody could say it unless you lived it, dude. I'm telling you that shit's happening to people every fucking day with this plant being used as an excuse. Okay. And until we stop that shit, we are never going to be free. They're going to find another reason. They're going to make a new twist to it. They're going to make another law, another move at the goal line to keep us under the fucking jail and the profit. Okay. And that's the big deal right there. So I don't need to make money off it. Okay. I don't want to sell it. I'm not asking nobody to give me money to go do this shit. Let's do it with our hearts. We can fucking beat this shit. And so no more people need to suffer. Nobody knows what it's like to be taken away from your kids, man. Okay? Unless you've been there over a fucking plant where you hurt nobody. Okay? They're using this as a weapon against us, man. And until we fucking realize that, we gotta fucking change this shit and take that weapon away from them. Take that ammo away from them. Okay. And the only way we're going to do that is to show them that we belong here, man. We belong in this country, and it's not in that fucking cell. It's not there. Okay. That's the bottom line with this shit. If any message that you get from this show tonight, man, with me speaking, man, it's not my fight. It's our fight. Okay. You have just as much a chance of getting put inside that jail cell as me if you're fucking with this plant. Do you want to be sitting inside that jail cell saying, man, I wish I would have stood up? Okay. Do you want to be sitting? Do you want them to have that ammo over us? Because if not, then you're going to fucking get together with your fellow stoners and do the fucking right shit and get this shit legal. Otherwise, you're just some guy that wants to get high and doesn't give a fuck. Okay. And that's Fine, I guess we got them people in the world too, right? Okay, but we should have enough fucking real stoners who don't want to be doing this and dealing with this and fucking want to win this fight to stand up and make a difference. That's it, man. Okay, because unless we do that, it's a mute point. All the wheels are turning for nothing. Okay, they're still going to be using another excuse to get you in that jail revolving this plan. If they wanted to set us free, they would have. They just released somebody from another country in trouble. Okay, if it was that important here, it would already happen. It ain't going to happen unless we take it. They ain't giving it to us, bro. You know, and that's the bottom line right there, man. I don't want to see you sitting in a jail without no blanket for some stupid ass shit for a plan. Okay? I don't want them to have that power to treat you like a fucking animal, charge you $1.25 for some ramen fucking noodles when they cost 10 cents, to rob your family for fucking phone cards. You know? To have families lose a grandfather, lose kids, lose parents out of the family dynamics. You know, that shit is everlasting. You know, I had to pray. You know, people say they don't believe in God, man, but I had to pray for forgiveness, man. I had to pray to take away the hate when I was inside there, because I had so much hate for the system, dude. Okay, I could easily relate with some of these sick fucks that would go in and drive a truck into a courthouse and shit. You know what I mean? I was really, really in a bad place, dude. And I was like, do I pay back this guy Rafi when I get out, go slice his fucking throat, or do I fucking be here and be a father to these kids that I brought into this world? So I can't do both. I can't live with the streets with that guy, what a guy's supposed to do to a rat, right? Okay, and still be a good father. I'll be behind bars. So I had to say, please, God, show me a way to forgive, take away the hate. That's the only reason why I'm here. Like, and I still got nothing but love. Yeah, I hate Wisconsin. I'll never fly over that fucking state, but I don't hate Wisconsin. I don't wish a meteorite would land on it. You know what I mean? Or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But just for me, what they did to me, I can never forgive that. And I can never forgive the rule that made that possible. So that's how come this fight means so much to me. It ain't about the money. It ain't about nothing to do with the money, any acclamations. I am not an idol. I do not want to be idolized. Okay. I don't want to have millions. Okay. Because I realize that the more stuff you own, the more it owns you. The more you're willing to sacrifice, okay, your morals and beliefs to keep what you've grown comfortable to. So when you're rich, you're ultra rich, those cars mean a lot. Everything means, so if something, that's more, it owns you. You're willing to keep that. You're willing to sacrifice. That's how come we have the problems that we have in this world. Okay, it's because people have grown comfortable. They want their stuff, so they're willing to sacrifice their morals. Here, we don't give a fuck about these people sitting in a jail cell with no blankets. As long as we got this fucking Maserati, we got this mansion, we got this island, okay? I'm happy just being me and getting it. Man, my habit is a pack of smokes a day, some weed, and some coffee. Those are my habits, man. Okay? That's what I consume. Maybe some good food. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a kind of a fat fuck, so I like some good food, you know? But you know what I mean? Even then, that's been taken away with this surgery and shit. So my main things are my coffee, my cigarettes, and my weed, you know? And then everything else is family, your love. That's what really matters. Your brothers and your sisters, your family around you, your friends, your neighbors. That's the shit that we need to get back to, okay? Because it's all about money. And as long as we keep it all about money, that's what it's going to be. You know? So I could be the dead horse and I could sit here and talk to you for 2 more hours about this shit. But unless we realize that, man, what's going to happen, is ultimately determined by us and what we let them do. Because we can stand up in the right way where they can't persecute us, but will we? That's the real question. Because that's the bigger war right there. You know, let's take this power away from these fuckers, man. Okay? And with kindness. They can't handle that. They can't fight that. You know, you could be a fucking a Nazi drowned in a fucking lake, and if a Jew comes up and grabs you and pulls you out, you think you're gonna hate Jews? You know what I mean? You're gonna have a soft spot. You know? So let's change this shit. That's all, man. I've been saying this for years, dude. Back before it was cool. Jack here. Yeah, I got pictures of him. Wore my shit. Said that I dated his crew. One of the girls over there is like, he's the voice of marijuana when he heard that. And then I got hemmed up. Took it away. You know, still nobody's picked up this battle, picked up this fight with the fucking do it. Nobody's tried what I've asked them to say. You know what, dude? Nobody's tried it. A couple people here and there, but not as a big thing. Why is that? I don't know. I go to a fucking thing in the Daily Center with my little nephew, and I speak right after I get arrested. Right after I got out for the first time, I spoke at the Daily Center. They had the normal there. My little real nephew was standing there, and I say to him, "Do good deeds." Everybody, you know, instead of just playing video games, how about cut the neighbor's lawn who can't cut her grass? Put local stoners were here. I walk away, and one of the girls at the fucking normal booth said, "Oh, like I'm gonna cut somebody's grass." She missed the fucking point. So that's how come I quit saying ideas for people to do. Because then they're going to find a way to use it against you.
The opportunities, if you true to your heart and you really want to do something nice for somebody, I find the opportunities present themselves to you. You know what I mean? It's like karma or whatever, if you will, testing you. You know what I mean? You put it out there. Are you gonna, you know what I mean? Are you gonna walk the walk type thing? Because if you're true to your heart and you really want to do nice things, I find the opportunities to do nice things.
And what we're gonna find is people are gonna be
there.
Hey, and what we're gonna find, Eagle, is people are gonna be jealous motherfuckers too. As soon as they see you start getting some highlight, some love going, they're gonna try putting wrenches in that shit.
You know, that's
we got to be prepared for that shit. Okay, we got to be prepared for that shit and realize that shit's out there in order to counter it and nip it at the butt.
You know, you may not see it, but I'm telling you 100%. I'm a soldier in your war already, my friend. You know, I do walk the walk, my friend, and anybody that knows me for sure would tell you that I'd give you the fucking shirt off my back in, you know, a second. I don't give two shits. I'll go out, you know what I mean? But I've always kind of took the stance that, you know, this is the reason why I haven't put something together like that is, you know, I've always watched people that do nice things and they've got their like camera out on social media. Here, I'm giving this guy $5. I think they're using that, you know what I mean? That's kind of,
yeah, well,
that's food for narcissism, you know what I mean? Or that's the narcissist feeding himself. Yeah, you know what I mean? The same guy that comes into a room and goes, I gave $50,000 to a charity today. Well, you could have felt just as good about yourself if you never told a motherfucker about it. You know what I mean? Okay. You could have gave and never told anybody about it, and still, you know what I mean? That's
and I understand that 100%, Lee, but with the things that are real, you can't deny. Okay, so you're going to be able to tell those real actions from fake actions.
True that.
Okay, because I'm not telling people to go help only stoners, am I?
No.
Okay. I never told nobody to go give them money. What they need to be doing is doing things to help their community as a whole. Okay. That's what it is. It isn't about helping a fellow stoner. It's about changing somebody's mind. You know, and in this world, we got to show people. You could show it and present it in the right way. You understand what I'm saying? To where it's not that. You know, and the real is going to rise, the cream rises to the top, right?
You know, and for me and myself, and this
See,
is,
once I start getting some videos posted up, who knows? Uncle might be fucking looking at these videos and trying to reward the good people who are fucking doing the good fight and highlighting them. You know what I mean? But I haven't even had the chance to fucking do that. I'm sitting there with jars full of dabs sometimes, and I don't have nobody to fucking share with, man. I might be willing to help people out with and show some love that are representing the right way. And Eagle, I'll tell you one thing for sure, man. I wouldn't be on your show if I didn't think that you were a real deal. I've got asked to do a couple shows, man, and and you could look back. Uncle hasn't fucking. You're the first fucking show I've done where I've came out and really talked on the fucking for any period of time at all. Okay, in over probably 7 years. Okay, that I've even felt worthy enough that deserves.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. It really does.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
Because I was impressed with you. I'm not easily impressed with people I meet, and you were a genuine person that I was awestruck, honestly, by the way you presented yourself the day I met you. I never met you before, and you struck me as a genuine person that really had a great heart to him. I mean, that's for real.
That was just me. That was just me. I wasn't putting on a show. The people who know me,
it wasn't even that was apparent.
But I'm saying that it's how I am wherever I went. Okay. I go from fucking, they paid me to go for a brand ambassador from Chicago to Richmond, Virginia. And I made every gas stop on that Harley turn into a smoke sesh with the people around me for at least 45 minutes. Fuck, it took me 4 days to get there and back. Okay, because I'd stop and I'd smoke with everybody and I'd try to fucking tell them do good shit and do this and do that in your neighborhood. I do good, you know what I mean? And dude, I mean, I'm sitting outside Love's, every gas station, sitting there smoking and being free in Kentucky and fucking, and where did I go through? I went through fucking Pennsylvania, all these illegal states, and I'm Indiana, and I'm fucking sitting there, didn't change a beat. Okay, because dude, man, I'm telling you, man, when you're doing right, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back to you. You're gonna find that you're gonna fucking be like above it all. You know, you can make yourself like I still to this day, I'm not most perfect man. I still get pissed off by some internet posts that's drive me off the fucking edge, right? You know what I mean? And shit like that, you know, but man, I mean, after I calm down, you know, I have nothing but love. You know what I mean? There's no ulterior motives. We can't have an ulterior motive. My ulterior motives is to watch this plant be free for everyone. That's it. That's my only ulterior motive when it comes to this plant. Okay, am I perfect? Do I make mistakes? We all make mistakes. But I can honestly say that everything I do, I try to think what's okay and better for everybody else. Have I fucked up? Have I made some promises that my health fucked me up and I couldn't keep? Yes. Okay. Yes. And I genuinely feel bad that I couldn't, on those times, I couldn't keep my word. But it wasn't purposely going out to hurt everybody. And that's where I'm saying the intention will show. Eagle, you can't be afraid to do something nice because you're afraid of how somebody's going to look at it. You could be afraid how to represent it. I'd say represent it the right way. You know what I mean? As long as it's presented in the right way, we should be able to do good deeds and with the known of why we're doing it. You have to always put in there that we belong in this country too, and it's not behind bars. We are forced to do it this way because nobody is seeing it any other way. We're being portrayed as idiots and fucking like dumb fucks on TV. Okay. We're getting false news about how this is bad. All the research on it is slanted, one-sided. I mean, we're to the point where you can't even have this plan in you when you're having a kid with a prescription. I mean, so we have a slanted fixed deck. So we need to do something like this to show, to highlight.
I totally understand. And but I do, I 100%. But see, this is when I say that opportunities, that once you start doing these things, they naturally kind of, and they happen in so quickly and so randomly. It could be, that cashier, you know what I mean, that you can see is just having that shit ass day that you've made eye contact with and made that sincere, hey, you all right? Yeah, you all right? You know what I mean? And you can see that soul to soul connect has, changed their day or made them a little bit more
100%.
optimistic. You know what I mean?
100%.
That dude, that fucker that's in the Home Depot parking lot that's trying to load that sheet of plywood by himself and the wind spinning him around in a circle. And you run across the parking lot and go, hey man, we gotta give you a fucking hand. You know what I mean?
And that 100% matters. It does matter, but that's going to enable you to get the right people around you that are going to be able to help you do the match, because it's not only one person's fight. It's not only Eagle's fight. Okay. It's not only Unk's fight. It's everybody's fight. So we need as many people doing this. Then that makes it more genuine when you do something. Like what I'm saying is like, okay, for instance, when I mentioned that garden, okay, that's something that would take more than one person, but it would uplift the community. You understand? If done right, it would give a place for people to have peace in a community that might not have beauty and peace.
The best moment I have ever had fucking doing something nice for somebody. And this is no word of a lie. I've told this story, but I haven't like kind of in pieces. But like I said, every night I've been doing this for a long time, and not just ending every show with the random acts of kindness, but I've had my ups and downs, stumbles and falls. You know what I mean? Random acts of kindness has helped me out more than once in my life. And oh shit, I kind of lost my point there.
It's okay. Hey, Eagle. Well, I can tell you this, man, right now, man. If you said you want to be part of it, what I'll do is I'll forward you over the local 420 logo, right? And what I would like you to do is, if you know any artists, to make it unique and genuine for your area, okay, to add in your local area and make your own local chapter out there, okay? And you go start doing flying underneath the local 420, doing good deeds in the name of weed, and doing the deeds for do whatever you feel that you want to do in this, and fly underneath that flag.
I'd be happy to. And I know there's more than a few artists that watch the show that'll take up that
because
challenge.
This is as much yours in your area as it is mine. This is not mine. I didn't found the local 420 to sell people. Like of course I would like to sell some shirts and give some money to charity. I haven't been in that position yet. Okay. But but it wasn't so I could profit off the local 420 logo. Everybody always asks, what do I have to do to become, dude, you're already a member. If you're a part smoker and you're trying to do good stuff in your neighborhood and you're trying to represent this plant right, you're a fucking member of the local 420, and it's spelt with a K, LOKAL 420, because it's okay to smoke weed. You know what I mean? That's how come I spelled it with a K.
So I remembered. I knew I'm not that big of a stoner where I squirrel for too far for too long. So this is what I was saying. This was the best moment for random acts of kindness for me. And so I was at an event and I was completely tripping balls at this event. And I'm sitting in my truck. I went back to the truck to try to regain my bearings and smoke one a little bit. And I'm sitting in the truck, and some people from this awesome old couple vehicles down from me um, is locked out of their vehicle. And so I watch for a second and see what's going on, and I see what's going on. They're obviously locked out of their vehicle. Thank goodness they had the windows down a little bit, but you could see they're sitting there talking about calling a locksmith, and they didn't have that much, you know what I mean, to if they had called them, it was going to kind of foil the day because they knew it was going to be 100, $200 to get somebody out there that day, yada, yada, yada. So I go down there and I'm like, I want to help, let me help. And I go over and I help. And I'm like, if I don't have nothing, I'm in my work truck with all my toolboxes. I'm like, I got something. If I ain't got something on me, I got something in that truck. We get it. We'll get you in. Don't worry. We'll get you in. And somebody comes up and gives me, wants to help me out. You know what I mean? And they see me trying to pick the lock with some stuff I had gotten out of the back of my truck, and I had on some Mendo Dope glasses, and they're like, "Mendo Dope's cool," and I said, "Yeah, they're friends of mine," and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Eagle." They're like, "I know who the fuck you are." So I kind of got busted, you know what I mean, doing exactly what I tell everybody else doing, you know what I mean, to help somebody else out if at all possible. So I got caught, in the act being, random acts of kindness. And that to me was like, if I could get caught doing anything, you know what I mean, it would be pushing that message right there. You know what I mean? And I was like, yes, this was meant to be. I was just, I was proud to meet that weed nerd at that moment. You know what I mean? Walking the walk, I guess.
Yeah, and it took me sitting down and smoking with you that day for me to know you before I was able to form an opinion on you. You know what I mean? So that day I kind of felt you out a little bit, and because I knew you had a station, and I knew there was possibly a chance that you were going to ask me to come on and do your show, but I wanted to kind of feel you out. And I'm glad that you came and you sat down with us and you took my invitation in the crowd of the people, you know, because that's who we need to stay grounded with, is with the people. No matter how high we get, no matter how much we're loved, we still got to stay close to the streets and the people. That's where Uncle Mike is all about. Okay.
Man,
You know what I mean?
as much
And be humbled by that. So like the fact that, like I'm not, by all means, I'm not saying don't act like kindness with everybody.
I was humbled by you, brother. I honestly was, because I didn't know if you fucking knew anything about me, whoever, whatever. I just thought it was really cool, that you involved me. A, the people I was with. B, and then when I was talking with you, as we were smoking, you did just as you said. We were looking around the room, and you'd be like, that one over there, go past that guy. You know what I mean? Go give them this joint and shit. And as I got a chance to talk with you and what you were about and why you were, running me across the room, which I was happy to do because I love people. You know what I mean? I absolutely love talking with people, shaking hands and getting to know people.
Yeah.
And you're giving me a mission. I know what I mean, a reason to run over there and meet people and shit. So it was a win-win. And yeah, I was very impressed with your approach to your responsibilities at the event there. The whole I was sold.
Because we are often, it can often be hard not to get a big head doing this, because you get blessed to get these kits and everything, but you got to remember these kits were given, somebody gave it out hard work and love to get these kits. And and if you could evolve the people that come in there so they could understand, and any amount of that to help the people understand that this is, basically a group of, it's not just to win a contest, it's to bring us all together too. You know, that's what these cups are supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like bringing people together with like minds to help do positive stuff and to change it for our industry, right? Because this is our industry, right? So this is if you're there, you're probably part of the industry or part of love this plant. So like, you know, and how about that? How about the guy in the wheelchair, man? I wish I remembered his name. I'm such a stoner, but that guy was way cool, dude. And he wound up being at my hotel. And we wound up talking and stuff. And it's like, dude, you never know who you're gonna meet further down the line. Like I've had so many people come up to me, like I don't even like I'm a stoner, so I forget a lot of names and stuff. I don't remember their name, but they sure did remember mine, you know, and wanna, you know, like repay the favor or try to fucking talk to me and you know show me some love, you know what I mean? And but it's hard not to get a big head. And all I can say is just be humble in this industry.
Dude,
Because
that
we all part of the people, you know.
that gentleman caught me later that afternoon, that evening before they left, and absolutely melted me. And you know, I felt guilty for even, you know, accepting, you know, some of the gratitude they were giving me, because it was outright, you know, a lot to do with you. I'd passed by him earlier in the day. He'd complimented me on my shirt, and I complimented on his Santa outfit that he was wearing. And we had that spark, but it wasn't until later in the afternoon when you sent me on the mission with the joints, you know what I mean? Go get that guy, that, you know, sucking him back into the table over there. He hit me up later that evening, and you know, he said thank you very much for, you know, including us into that. And I'm thinking it wasn't me, man.
Yeah,
It
it was.
was and it
Yes,
wasn't,
it
but
was. Yes, it
you know
was.
what I
Hold on,
mean.
wait. I
But
want you to understand this, Eagle. Eagle, you played a big part in that because you were humble and you were welcoming. That's what we need to do. We need to be able to welcome these people and not be stuck up and sitting there with our heads up and nose. You could have very easily been offstandish. I've seen so many people in this industry that are like think that they're above, you know, and they talk to people certain ways and stuff. You weren't. So you did play a part. Your welcoming played a part just as much as my welcoming. It's see, that's what I'm saying. It's a team effort. We're all in this to win this shit. So if we can make people and get people to see it the way we're seeing it, we're winning the war. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we represent. That's where it comes down to representing the right way, right? Okay. You got to represent it the right way. And you were. So that's how come it worked. You know, you were like, that's how come he was thanking you, because you had just as much part of making him feel welcome as I did. Okay. As much as Angel, as much as High Italian, everybody at that table. Okay. And throughout the place, for the most part, besides I'll call the mean mugging section. Okay. You know, besides that section was loving and welcoming. And that's, you know, and it's just, we got to make sure that we're not, that we don't, that we bring people in rather than push them away. Okay. And that's only done. Now you got to be careful nowadays, because like I said earlier, you could welcome snakes into the thing. So, you know, you got to, so there's a difference between being nice and bringing somebody into your circle. Okay.
the snakes are hard to deal with, man. They are quick. And it's like, where did I put the shovel? Shit.
But what I mean is, in a party, but before you evolve them into a movement or anything, they kind of need to be vested a little bit. You know what I mean? And looked at before you bring them in, because one snake could fucking poison the whole thing. You know. Yeah. So that's where my hesitancy about fucking really coming out, because I unfortunately I had to sit back for a minute, but that setback helped me see a lot of shit. Okay, that I probably wouldn't have seen if I wasn't forced to sit back for a minute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, so I was able to see some shit, and I'm telling you, man, that's going to be the biggest problem right there, is getting rid of the bullshit. and let the cream rise to the top, you know? And then we need social media. We need all that, which I'm an old man, you know, not saying that I can't learn the shit, but I'm sitting there with a fucking phone. You know, I got big fat ass thumbs, little tiny keyboard on this fucker. So everything's hard. You know, it seems daunting to me with the social media shit. I make passwords, I forget them. So that kind of is hampering me with this. So it's all of our fight. So we need social media gurus. We need everybody out there. If we're going to win this war, really picking up the sword and picking it and volunteering and doing that. And until we have that to really make a real substantial thing to where you could be counting on, you know, not like, you know, like some of the people they like to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'll do that. And then, you know, it's like growing. You get somebody into a grow, they think it's only sitting around smoking weed and playing video games. Once they realize it's hard work, then you can't rely upon them. Most of them, you know, in the world today, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's part of getting the right people on your team, you know, to win too. So those are like things that I've learned. Now, I'm not saying I know it all, so I'm open to advice. So by all means, anybody who wants to throw in some suggestions, I'm more as a local 420. You know what my mission is, okay? And any way to help this plant get totally free and legal for everybody, you know what I mean? To where we don't have to worry about it, that's where my goal is. I'm not towards the corporate, okay? I'm not going to be pushing for the corporate. Okay, I'm going to be pushing for the streets. So anything that's going to help the average guy, you know, if you want me, you could reach out to me. You could find a way. I'll come perform for you. I'll try to help out if I can. You know what I'm saying? Like what I can, as long as it's a worthwhile. So as much as I'm asking for people to help and pick up their sword with this, I'm willing to help them with their goal, because we need as many fights as we can going against these unjust laws, because they got many fights going against us at one time. So, but we still could fly under the one flag with this one thing. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, man, I think I'm gonna do one more dab with you guys, man, and I'm probably gonna fucking go inhale some fucking more of this silver and maybe try to drink a cup of tea and give my throat a rest tonight, man. I think I told you guys pretty much how I feel tonight. And I think you guys got the gist of what I'm saying, but I will promise to come and do another show for you. And when I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'll spit another 1 or 2 rhymes for you.
That would be completely awesome. 100%. And I appreciate the passion in the fight. And I hope more people get out there and take your example and start doing some of that. Again, remind everybody the hashtags that you want them to post to, that we should be posting to.
Well, we should just be taking over the Deeds for Weed one, because I started it before anybody came out with that shit. I was talking about that. So if anybody tried to steal that or buy that domain, fuck them. We'll overpower them with the Deeds for Weed with our own hashtags, with what it means. You know, the local 420, LOKAL 420 is also a good one. And I'm at Unkle Mike 420 on Instagram. You know, and I think that it's not about blowing me up so much as blowing up the message. I can't get that across to you enough. Okay. You know, please, people, go out there and own it. You guys are fellow warriors. Okay. You guys are fellow potheads, and it's not me. It's not my fight. It's our fight. So own your fight, own your battle, and act accordingly on this planet, man. And I thank you, Eagle, for giving me the opportunity to share my voice out here with people and my views. And it's really humbling. And thank you for all the love of anybody that's been in the chat that I missed, that I couldn't see. And fuck it. Thank you for any of the hate too, because the criticism gives you fucking shit too. You know what I mean? It gives you a fucking thing. But the main message is, man, we're all one in this fight, man. We're all, as long as we're separate, We're all one though. And the only way we're gonna win it is with that point of the arrow. So let's join as one and let's quit with all the bullshit. And let's get rid of the fucking or hold the snakes accountable. You know what I mean? And let's get this shit done. You know, because we can win it. We can if we fight the right way. Okay. It doesn't take money. I'm telling you, this war will not take nearly the amount of money that they're spending against us. Okay. Not even a drop of the bucket. Okay. With these good deeds. If we do it right, we got to do it right. And thanks, man. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate you listening to me, an old guy rumble on.
You know, I just thought of this would be a fun hashtag to throw in the arena with them. You hear, you know, kill them with kindness. We could go under the hashtag of kill them with cannabis.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, you know, I really do appreciate you guys. I hope your audience likes listening to me, man. I hope they took away with something I had to say and it helped inspire some people, because that's truly what I want. It's not for me, it's for all of us. So, and it's for the next poor schmuck that's going to be sitting inside a jail cell with no fucking blanket and no pillow and no mattress in a freezing cold cell for 8 to 12 hours a day. It's for that poor schmuck. You know what I mean? Like I was the poor schmuck. Yeah, I got caught up in it. You know, who knows who could be the next one? So it's for them that we're fighting. And hopefully so we can prevent it from happening to any of us again, if it happened to you already. Yeah. So with that, man, I say peace. I'm gonna do one more dab at this fucking, let me see what I pick. Some Michigan love. Let me see. I got some we'll do some of that COAs because it was really nice and special. This Purple Canyon.
Nice.
Okay. And I want to also say thank you. A lot of people shared some love with me to go share around with people out of my kit in Vegas. And thank you, man. The gas company, COA. Let me see. There's Waterboy gave me some. And I got some of this Petrosky Pebbles, the 420. This stuff was a crowd favorite as well as a COA. So if you get any of these Petrosky Pebbles, this shit was pretty good, pretty awesome. And then the High Italians stuff. I'd highly recommend the High Italians product. Okay, it tastes great out of the Boulder W2 pen.
I love that thing.
Okay, which is the pen that I'm repping right now. It's been a bomb pen, and it handles a sesh, so it's Uncle Mike approved. Boulder vape pens, it's W2.
I think it's got good battery on it too. I gotta give it the battery on that thing.
It's lasted. And one thing about that pen is I go around like a festival or a club, and I'll smoke that whole place up out of that pen, and I'll have minimal maintenance, and it will last me like a day or two. And I mean, I dab motherfuckers up. I go through, I try to make sure everybody in that place hits that pen. So it's been a solid pen for me. And so I feel good recommending it to people. I know you're going to get a fair buck. It's not expensive. It's reasonable because, again, I'm from the streets, right? So I'm for the streets. I want my people to get a good deal and not get killed with the price and have something that works great for them.
I've been enjoying it. And it's one of those things, like, again, how, you know, the right things are supposed to happen at the right time. I'd been, you know, I doing the show in this small little fucking space, and if I don't open the window, it gets smoky as fuck in here, smoking joint after joint after joint. I thought, I've been thinking, man, I might have to get back to, you know, using the extracts a little bit, but I didn't want to go back to the full on dab rig. So I'd been kicking around the idea of getting something like that. And then we kind of met, and you passed me that Boulder 2 there. And I've been using that thing quite a bit. It's perfect for this right here.
Yeah.
Now I'm filling up this space full of fucking smoke. I dig it.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I hope that if you cross paths me, any of your viewers, people that know me know that I float like a leaf through the wind. I go wherever it takes me. I don't really plan too much. Where I land. Hopefully, if you see me, don't be shy. Stop me, say hello, man. We'll chat. Maybe I might, if I'm feeling frisky that day, I might even spit you a live rhyme. Who knows, man? But I'll definitely share, a little bit of myself with you and my love. As far as helping this movement. So, man, let's get this shit done. Okay, right, come on, man. We've got too many old G's who have passed away. We're losing a lot of people this year, especially. We lost a lot of people, old G's, and in previous years that have suffered for this plant drastically and who have sacrificed for this plant. Let's not piss it away. We could win this thing. Let's fucking make it. Let's make it so we make it so it's totally free and we end this bullshit. So with that, man, and that last dab, one love, man.
Oh, can I have just a couple more minutes? I got just a couple minutes to explain some shit to you. First off, there's several things that go on the channel here. Of course, there's this aspect of one-on-one. And now that you've done the one-on-one with me, that Zoom link that I sent you, that's always good now. So anytime that you see a Weed Nerd World on going live, basically Wednesday nights, 11 o'clock is a mandatory Weed Nerd World. You can bank on that. Any other time the Weed Nerd Worlds vary. Usually at the beginning of the show, I told you this time slots from 11:30 to 4:20. So if the show does kind of fall short, I usually kind of pick back up with the Weed Nerd World and finish out the evening till 4:20. So anytime that you see Weed Nerd World in the title, open guest, no more invites. Anytime you want to fucking come hang out, tell us what's going on, make us aware, just do a random act of kindness of coming and hang out and smoking, hang, you know what I mean? That in itself is a random act of kindness, you know what I mean? Always welcome, you know what I mean? It's up to you at this point when you come and hang out in the Weed Nerd World. I will 100% take you up on the second one-on-one though, but you are now most certainly welcome to come and go as you please in the Weed Nerd World. So keep that link somewhere safe. If you happen to lose it for one reason or another, just get me up and I'll send you another one. But please,
I'll be hitting you up. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a disclaimer right now. I'll be hitting you up because I lose everything, man. Trust me.
I'll be happy to send it to you again. The last thing I need to get from you, and Chet's getting on me about it, is the silly little thing I call it. This is a closest to being commercialized like it is a little thing I call the sound bite, and at some point it will be a commercial for your episode. So basically what I'm looking for, my words, my version is, hey, this is Eagle and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle episode 770. You put whatever you want before or after, as long as they know where to look, what episode to find you. I'm more than grateful to get that. So I am ready.
Well, what do you want? Oh, wait.
All right.
Wait. Now you gotta make it clear with Unkle, okay? So I understand it exactly. You want me to say everything that you just said?
Basically, make it your own, of course. Is that basically, hey, I'll make it yours. Hey, this is Uncle Mike, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 770. You can say whatever you want before or after, as long as it's in there somewhere. I'm
770.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Yo, it's Uncle Mike. I'm on episode 770. I'm here with Jamming with Eagle, and we're having a blast ass show. Thank you for having me, buddy.
There we go. Thank you, my friend. I know time is the most important thing we have, and you've given me a couple great hours tonight and a fucking amazing day at a cup. So I can't thank you enough. I look forward to talking with you again soon and hopefully hanging out with you when you get your ass back to Michigan.
Hey, before you cut me off, I'm going to give you guys one more. Okay. That's how much I enjoyed it. Okay. The show. So here you go. It's just pee. It's made for all the people that have to take piss tests. Okay. And more personally, my buddy Mark. Okay. So it goes, hello, my name is Mark, and I work at a park. I pick up dog shit every day to purchase my fine green hay. But if my boss finds out I'm a stoner, my shit shovel of days will be over. I have to say goodbye to my friend Rover. If my boss pulls me over with a little cup, my time's up, and that's fucked up. Have to buy a fake dick just to beat the dipstick. Isn't it a shame the things we have to do to smoke you, Mary Jane? Ain't that an invasion of privacy? Oh, trying to look up inside of me. What right do you have to my pee? Would help solve some tragedy? Because if it will, I'm down with helping humanity. But I doubt it will. Just there to take our money, and that's not funny. Stop Mark with his job at the park will hardly affect mankind. Or stop Mark from craving that big fat dime. Because some like money, some like booze, some like to walk with an attitude. How come assholes aren't illegal? Where's the cup for the politicians making these laws with their dick shoved deep in their secretary's jaws? They're old enough to be their daughters, so don't step in them waters. You don't have enough quarters for the parking meters outside the local courthouse. You're paying for rights you're supposed to have for free. They're following you. They're following me. Who's following them? I'm watching the money they spend while I lay in bed at night dreaming of lime green for my stash. Y'all could kiss my ass. I'm never going to stop smoking this grass, no matter how many laws you pass. It's never going to stop me from smoking this tree, so just let it be. It's just fucking pee.
It was a good one. Holy shit.
Peace, brothers.
Peace. You guys have a good one. That was a good one. That's a mouthful. I would have got, oh man, that was awesome.
One love, guys. Okay. Uncle Mike heading out. Catch you next time, man. Don't worry. We're going to cross paths again, everybody. One love. Oh.
Peace. Thank you, my friend. For the rest of you guys, thank you for tuning in. I know you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as I have. For the rest of you guys, maybe we nerd world ? But if not, then thank you guys 100% for tuning in. You guys know the deal. Random acts of kindness really do save lives. And with that being said, thank you, Angel, for making the bridge for me to my Uncle Mike. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said earlier in this, I really do love meeting people and hearing their stories. That's no bullshit, man. It really is, something that I am passionate about. I can't even begin to tell you all the amazing people that I've met in cannabis, not just doing this, yes, of course, doing this, but through the events, selling seeds, selling weed, whatnot, over the years, 100,000%. Good joints, great people. I've had amazing life that cannabis has brought cross paths with me through cannabis. So thank you guys very much for following me through this phase of my life, this journey. I appreciate y'all. With that being said, I am out of here. Thank you, Uncle Mike 420. Hopefully you guys did go over and follow him. Hit those links, show some love, and don't forget to do those random acts of kindness. They really do.